Hello, and welcome to another Escapement Show, and good to see you all. And I'd like to first of all say thank you to Mathis for his greetings and encouragement. He says, "Have a good show, you filthy animals." And that's what we are. We're a group of filthy animals. Exactly.
Filthy animal yourself, Mathis.
Yeah, I think he summed us up pretty well.
Yeah, it sums us up very well. Yeah. So, yeah, how's your week been, guys?
Yeah, good. Yeah, good. I feel like it's been 2 weeks actually. I feel like we haven't spoken in a while, and I missed you guys.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, me as well.
Come on, blowing smoke up on our asses doesn't give you any advantage.
Okay. You filthy animals. All good. Yeah, all good. Thank you.
Yeah. Hi, Chili Badger. Good to see you.
That Mad Martha's Massage Parlor, the viewing pit. Nice.
Viewing pit.
Enjoy.
Sounds like he's wandering again.
Welcome, Y2K. Good to see you, my friend.
Gentlemen, good to see you as well.
How are you? All good?
Hi, buddy.
Yes, alive and kicking.
Good. Yeah.
Now that the panel is full of superstars, I can leave.
Hey, what are you saying, JQH?
I don't want that, Jonathan. No.
You are a superstar too, Jonathan.
Tell that to Mrs. Higgins.
You're the main attraction. Yeah, so we thought we'd do a topic of watch and car collaborations. And there's been so many. It's probably one of the most collaborated, biggest collaborations you get in watches, I think. Do you think, Jonathan?
Oh, yes. Watches and cars is a very good combination. The watches and women cannot be too much explored, but with watches and cars, everybody can go crazy, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they go pretty well hand in hand for men, right? Like they're big boys' toys, So cars and watches and maybe other things like pens and sort of gadgets, right? I think they sort of go well together. So naturally, they sort of fit well. And I think there's also been, over the years through like motorsports, you had to timing laps and having precision timing
and
at racetracks and
sponsorship as well.
Yeah, sponsorships and sort of fit a match, sort of a natural matchup, I suppose, through the motor racing scene. So, it just sort of makes sense, I guess.
You get a lot of sports, endorsees, like in tennis, and we know Federer and people like that, and movies maybe. Watches are creeping into movies, but I think cars have always been a long-standing thing, like you say, with motorsports and timing. It's just a natural progression.
Yeah, now that you mentioned the tennis connection, I remember back in the 1980s when basically the only connection was movies, James Bond, and cars, and Ebel started to sponsor tennis players, and that was groundbreaking because the watches have not been with tennis sports. I remember Seiko and Omega were fighting over the time display in the Olympic stadiums with athletics, but tennis was really a very new field, and it was very, very brave and bold to connect watches with tennis. And probably it is one of the first time that it was not only focused on men, also on women. So Ebel outfitted both female and male tennis players. So that was quite an interesting move.
I mean, you had golf as well, which is mainly men, but tennis is women as well. So we'll crack on. I mean, we'll go to motor racing, and here we've got the Tag Heuer. This is the Tag Heuer Carrera Porsche Chronograph Special Edition 44mm caliber Heuer 2 automatic. That's a bit of a mouthful. £5,800, and the marketing garb goes as is. Born on the racetrack in 1963, the Carrera collection embraces a spirit of endurance and outstanding performance. Designed for professional drivers, yet with an elegant sense of style. The collection pays tribute to the infamous Carrera Panamericana race, and this special edition model is an alliance between two icons of design quality and innovation. An asphalt effect dial expresses passion for the road, while the Arabic numerals reference the numbers on a Porsche dashboard. And the luxurious leather strap with innovative stitching pays tribute to the Porsche's interior. This 44mm timepiece pairs a steel and ceramic case with soft leather strap. The racing-inspired dial features 3 chronograph subdials and a date display, while the ceramic bezel includes a tachymeter scale and Porsche inscription in red. And driven by the unquestionable speed and accuracy of the Heuer 2 manufacturer movements, offers an impressive 80-hour power reserve and an iconic steering wheel Porsche-inspired oscillating mass, which you can see that they're saying the steering wheel rotor on the back. Yeah,
that is also precisely how a Porsche steering wheels, the spokes look like. Yes.
Really? So, I mean, I don't know what we think of this one.
I find this a total oddball, because Porsche have their own watches, and to have a collaboration with another watch manufacturer is really odd, in my opinion.
It is a bit odd, isn't it? They've got their own Porsche watches, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it might have made sense if Porsche maybe would cooperate with, let's say, Red Bull and release something like this for the Formula One. But I don't think they will be joining any more Formula One. There were rumors about joining 2026, but I don't think they're joining it.
No,
it does look visually nice, to be honest. But maybe smaller a little bit. I like the color combination, the white, red, black, gray, but somehow with too much text and just doesn't feel like.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I really like this watch. The only thing that is a little bit jarring, I think, is the numerals. The markers. For the 5, 10, 20, 25. Those markers there, because there's so much text going on. You got the tachymeter, in big font, and then you've got the markers as well in numerals. I think it just might have been better if there was something else, maybe batons or something like that, would have made it look a lot more elegant. Overall, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, as I say in the blurb, they're trying to make you look like a dashboard.
Yeah, like a ref counter.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, that's what they're trying to make it look like, sure, but like it's too much over the top, though.
Yeah, you have Porsche.
That's just my opinion.
And then Carrera, and then Tag, and then Heuer, and then below Heuer 02, 80 hours, and then I think below the Swiss, and you have the
I'm a little bit confused as well about the different brands. Porsche Carrera is an iconic car, then Tag, and then Heuer. It's a little bit too many brands, a little bit too many fathers.
Yeah.
It's marketing.
But here's a question: Is this a Tag Heuer Carrera, or is this a Porsche Carrera?
Or is it a Porsche Carrera Tag Heuer?
That's a very good question, actually.
We don't know, so shall we move on?
Yeah.
Okay. That's enough of that one. That was just an introduction, guys, so it's just to get us on topic.
Yeah. And are we looking sort of Thomas, sort of across the time spectrum, or are we sort of looking at
from the past, and a lot of these come from the past.
cool.
I mean, I've going on to the Amvox line and the JLT Amvox line from 2004 to 2016, when Richard Mille announced that they were partnering with Aston Martin. JLT made the Amvox line of sporty watches in collaboration with Aston Martin, and they announced this collaboration in Paris in September 2004. Aston Martin were releasing the Vanquish S model and the Paris Motor Show, and JLT's key market was based in France. Although not a new association, but a refreshed one. During the 1920s, Lecoutre and Chi, in cooperation with Edmund Jaeger, began manufacturing counters and dashboard instruments for Aston Martin, as you can see here. That was simply signed Jaeger. And in fact, Lecoutre and Chi equipped 95% of competition winners during the 30s. The Amvox name is an amalgamation of Aston Martin's initials and the second part of Memovox. And in 2005, the version of the Memovox upon which the Amvox was based turned 40. So it was born in 1965. Future dials, there's the Amvox Memovox. Future dials were slightly redesigned and more resemble instruments found in Aston Martins, and straps were made of the same bridge of weir leather found in the interiors of the DB9, as well as the Vanquish X V12. The Amvox 2 chronograph was a step further. So there's quite a few Memovoxes here, as you can see. With the Aston Martin Amvox Memovoxes, and
what's the difference between Amvox and Memovox? Like,
Memovox is the alarm watch. It's JLT's alarm watch. So the first Aston Martin Memovox.
Yeah.
That's how it started, as the Amvox. That's how they were the first watches that they did in collaboration with Aston Martin. So
so it was an Okay, I gotcha. So Amvox is AM Aston Martin. Okay, got it.
They made a Memovox for Aston Martin.
Cool. Yeah, got it. Yeah, of course. Thank you.
So just scroll down. There's quite a few which aren't Memovoxes, but there's a racer who's called Adrian. I can't read it from here, but he's wearing this Amvox 2, which is a chronograph. So the Amvox 2 chronograph is one a step further, having a vertical trigger mechanism where you push the sapphire crystal.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And to start and stop the chronograph.
Yeah.
It also featured a slide on the left, as you can
I wonder how water resistant that construction is.
Yeah.
Isn't there one, Thomas, where you press the crystal and it like opens the car?
Yeah, I'm coming to that one.
Okay.
So the Amvox 2 chronograph went a step further, having a vertical trigger mechanism where you push the sapphire crystal bezel to start and stop the chronograph. It also featured a slide on the left of the case, allowing the chronograph to be entirely or partially blocked to allow the timing without the danger of accidentally resetting the hands. And then the Amvox took a leap to horology with the in 2007 with the introduction of the Tourbillon GMT, as we see here. And so they've gone from Memovox alarm to chronograph to Tourbillon GMT, and a little bit in this Quill and Pad article I took all this from. Says Robert Downey Jr. even wore this one in the film Iron Man, and there you see.
There you go.
There you see him wearing it. And so there's another one of that one.
So, like, the interesting thing with all these car collabs is that I feel like you have to have the car to own the watch. Like, do you know what I mean? Maybe in most cases, I think you do. Like, you couldn't just like Aston Martin and then get one of these. I reckon you'd have to have an Aston Martin. Do you think or not?
Yeah, I feel for me, especially these ones, I feel like they would go like a set. Like you're buying your Aston Martin and you're buying your JLC Aston Martin, and you know you're going to be losing a lot of money on both of them if you buy them new. I think that's part of the ownership, let's say, experience.
So this is the Amrock 4. This is the transponder chronograph.
Yeah.
And this went to another level again, having a locking and unlocking system for the Aston Martin DBS V12 embedded within the mechanical watch. An innovative antenna had to be developed for this watch, and the antenna had to be placed as far away from the movement. So a metallized antenna was placed in a crystal shape to follow the curve of the inner bezel ring.
Far out.
You know,
That's
when I see
cool,
those,
man.
when I see those watches, I wonder how much money this collaboration with Aston Martin costs JLC, and if that really pays off. I'm not sure.
I doubt it. I doubt it.
I think you made a very good point earlier. So the argument could be done. Okay, it's beneficial for Aston Martin that their rich clients can buy a fancy special watch on top, so it benefits Aston Martin. But the question is, what is the benefit for JLC? And I would say that the people who can't afford an Aston Martin are not buying those items. So the benefit for JLC is very limited, I would say, when you consider those development costs that those watches really.
Yeah.
I think some of them will appeal to people, like the one that trigger the chronograph you can trigger with the crystal.
Yeah, but how much does that cost?
Exactly, yeah.
30,000-40,000?
Yeah.
And they're not even their sponsor for Formula One. So Aston Martin has a team in Formula One, and they're not even the sponsor. I think JP, they're wearing Gerard Perregaux.
Yeah, that is then another thing. You see Richard Mille or Gerard Perregaux or Chopard even on Porsche race cars, while they have a collaboration then with Tag Heuer, and have their own watch company. So.
But these watches came out years before Aston had a Formula One team. Like these have been around for this one here came out probably 5 years ago or something, probably more.
Yeah.
Oh, more. The Aston Martin collaboration was 2004 to 2014, I think it was.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah. So now they definitely saw that it's not so, let's say, lucrative for them.
Yeah, well, I think that answers your question, Jonathan. It didn't work out.
Yeah.
So one for Jonathan here, the Amrox 5 had a world time function as well as the chronograph.
World time chronograph.
Oh, there you go, Jackie H. That's your one. You go and buy it, man.
Yeah, which makes the chronograph then even bigger because you have that additional ring outside.
Yeah.
You could get this for 10 cents in the dollar.
Could well be.
But then there's a very famous JLC aficionado by the name of Tim Mosso, and I believe he had maybe the first 3 or something.
Yeah, he did.
And so I mean, if you're and that's I think that's an interesting point. Like he had these watches in his collection because he was a JLC nut. So there might be maybe some people who are, in the similar circumstances. They might be JLC nuts or Aston Martin nuts, and they can't quite afford the $400,000 for the Aston, so they might buy the watch. But that would only be a very, 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 very small, number of people that would be doing that.
Yeah, there's another.
But I think what is interesting, and it puts a lot of legitimacy to JLC. If you see classic old sports car or any classic car of some high prestige, your chances are high that they have Jaeger instruments inside. I'm talking about classic cars.
Yeah. Like I said, they started doing them for racing cars in the 30s, and they're making instruments probably still now. I don't know.
Yeah, but the production cars, all the Ferraris and Lamborghinis and Lancias, and I think even Rolls-Royce had Jaeger instruments at some point.
So this Amvox 7 had the crystal trigger system as well, which was updated. And then the last, that was, there we go again with that one. And the last one was, there's so many of them. Yeah, this last one was the transponder as well. The Amvox, in 2014, JLC made a transponder which opened the cars as well. Amvox could unlock every Aston Martin car. Previous versions only interacted with the DBS, DB9 and Rapide models, and JLC moved the antenna from the crystal to the case. It now positioned directly beneath the watch crystal and was even visible. Now owners could unlock their cars as well as turn on the headlights.
But if I understand that correctly, this watch needs a battery to work as a transponder. Is that correct?
Right. It wouldn't surprise me, Jonathan.
Yeah.
No,
so you have a mechanical watch with a battery for the transponder.
Yeah. So, but it's very James Bondish, It's very James Bond-like. It's sort of it came in global and US versions.
Actually, talking about transponders, I made a discovery yesterday. So I have one car with a transponder. So that means when I carry the key in my pocket, I just have to push a button and the door opens. When I'm leaving the car, I push the button again and the car is closed as long as I have the key in my pocket. Now, what happened was it's now getting warmer. So I had the key in my jacket. And I put the jacket on the rear seat, forgot that the key was in the jacket. And then I reached my destination and I wanted to lock the car. And it didn't lock because the car was inside. So the car recognizes where this transponder is, if it's inside of the car or outside. And I think that is a very cool thing that the technology is so far.
It's very cool, isn't it?
Yeah. But because it makes sense, because when the key is inside, okay, you can lock, but when the key is inside, everybody else can unlock them.
Exactly.
What the fuck's going on in the background there?
Yeah, Y2K, there's some...
I think you might want to close the door.
Yes, I think we have to close the stream, Thomas, don't we?
Nah, that's okay. We don't have to close it. Nah, nothing's going to happen. That's all good.
Close the stream. Sorry about that, everyone. Okay.
Pardon me on that one. I wasn't paying attention, so yeah.
Okay.
I was looking at something on my screen, so.
We'll stick with Aston Martin, and as we mentioned, Jared Perigo are now the Aston Martin partners, and they partnered with Jared Perigo after JLC and Richard Mille, and there are 3 Aston Martin watches to choose from. There's the green Laureato that they do. This
so cool.
Yeah,
green
really nice.
Green ceramic Aston Martin edition.
Yeah, very green.
Very green.
Yeah.
They also do these ones, which are the I don't know whether I'll be able to bring them up. They do.
Okay.
A Laureato Absolute Chronograph Aston Martin limited edition for £22,000. But the green Laureato one is sold out. That was £18,000.
That's got a lot of sort of offshore vibes going on. That
Yeah.
one. So the
Yeah.
ceramic case and those little the coloured accents.
They do this one, which is a sort of classic Laureato with just a green dial.
That's cool.
Which is
I like that.
£18,000. It's a nice one, that one, isn't it? Really nice.
Really nice.
Classic Laureato that we all know.
Yep.
Integrated bracelet and
That's nice.
chronograph.
I like how they've done that, like the green dial with the black, like the tracks on the sub dials and the minute track is in black. That looks really cool.
And then they even do an Aston Martin 3 Flying Bridges Aston Martin edition.
Shit.
Which is £184,000.
Whoa.
Fuck.
That's
At
hefty.
124. At 124,000, Thomas. It's
sorry,
not
184.
184.
I got that wrong.
Yeah,
my,
so it's more affordable. It's more affordable now.
More affordable.
Yeah.
That's another
Yes.
watch. If you have an Aston Martin, maybe you get this one. The Laureato, I think, even if you don't have the car, play with even the green one. I really like the green one, the smaller version, the 38 millimeters. That's really nice. The green ceramic.
The green ceramic one, yeah. That'd be a third. Is that 38 mil? Yeah, it will be, won't it?
38 and 48. I'd go for the 38 for me.
Yeah. So that's
This
what
is
you
one
get
of
for your Aston Martin. Sorry, carry on, JCB.
I was gonna say this one. I feel like you have to see it in the metal to get a feel for like how green it actually is. You know what I mean? Like I'm just like, oh, it's cool because it's a green ceramic watch. But then I'm sort of thinking about seeing it in the metal. I'm wearing this big hunk of green on my wrist. Whether how actually cool it would be on the wrist or not. Yeah, I think it would be one of those ones you need to wait and see it on your wrist first.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I don't think it's an everyday watch as well. Right? It's too green for every day. Yeah.
Maybe you just wear it for St. Patrick's Day. Just that's the only day of the year that you wear it.
Or attending a Formula One event and you're a Aston Martin fan. So
of course, yeah, at the Formula One.
Yeah, okay.
Or if it's you wear it on 420, you could that could be all right.
Yeah.
Well.
We're 2 days after 420, so makes sense.
So this is the all green, including the bracelets, all green, yes?
Yeah, ceramic. Yeah.
The whole thing. Yeah, man. It's full on.
Yeah.
Right. Should we move on, Thomas?
We will move on. We'll move on to a watch that you quite like, I think.
Mm.
And this is the Zenith Defy. This is I don't know whether you're a fan of the Land Rover edition.
Yeah, not this one. I've got one lined up that I can that I'll bring up that I've had a Zenith. But yeah, let's talk about this one. And also, IDGuy is in the chat. He's saying to drop a link.
Oh, so, right, okay.
If you want to drop the link, do you know if you can do that?
Yeah.
So this is a Land Rover or a Range Rover?
Land Rover.
Land Rover. Okay. Oh yes. Okay. So what's this? What is this watch? Is this a Defy Extreme? Oh no, Defy 21.
Defy 21. Yeah.
Okay.
one, limited edition 44
Yeah.
millimeter. This is £11,700. A 2020 release is Zenith Defiers the El Primero 100th of a second chronograph. And this limited edition rugged invention, as they say, of the high-frequency El Primero chronograph celebrated a new generation of the Land Rover Defender with a matte-finished titanium case that matches the Macrae dial. The watch has quite a stealthy aesthetic, and the small seconds at 9 o'clock and 60-second counter at 6 o'clock, and the 30-minute counter at 3 o'clock, and there's 50 hours of power reserve in the movement. It's 100 meters water resistant and comes on a durable rubber strap for extra comfort. And this was only limited to 250 pieces. But not your jam, this one.
Oh no, I've got to admit, I think I'm only seeing this one for the first time, to be honest with you. Hello, Mr. ID.
I'm on. How's it, guys?
Okay.
Welcome, ID.
Can you hear me
guy.
okay? Does it sound okay?
Yeah.
Let me just
Yeah, here we go. How are you?
Hey.
All
Sweet.
good?
Good.
All good.
I just got in. Like I've just driven home and I'm back. Just been out
Cool.
the whole week. I've been out hiking and stuff. So
Nice.
the weather's been so good up here. So now I've finally, been able to get out and enjoy the Highlands for the first time in my life. Does it sound okay? I'm just playing around
Yeah.
with the settings.
Yeah.
Sound is good.
Good. Yeah,
Five
I
by
look like a
five.
mess, sunburnt and the rest, but it's been good fun. I'm trying to fix my hair up. I don't know.
You've got sunburn?
I got sunburned in Scotland. Can you believe it?
Wow.
Like, yeah, it's been so cool.
Uh,
Been rocking
That's
this
fair.
all week, and everyone's been making fun of the 54 being too small.
I like
Yeah,
the size.
yeah,
That's the fun.
I like the
Bring it up
size.
closer.
You've been wearing a lady's watch.
I've been wearing a
That's nice.
lady's watch, yeah, and it has been just the coolest thing. It's so under the radar. I went to a spa as well, so in the pool, in a loch, swimming in a loch, going up hills, timing everything that you're doing. I mean, the bezel actions, insane. Just
Nice.
great. This whole week, t-shirt and shorts, easy to wear, throw on. As a traveling watch, I've always given the Black Bay shit. I've always called it just it's a great watch, but it's never been a superb example, and in my mind, for a Tudor. They really are good. I'll admit defeat. As far as a traveler watch goes, you can just put it on, forget it, and wear it and enjoy yourselves.
That's
Yeah.
nice.
How you guys doing? Sorry that I'm a bit late.
Yeah, doing
I've
good, doing good.
been on the road.
Yeah,
Fine,
all
fine.
good, mate. All good.
Oh, good.
Cool.
Did you want to bring up your Defy SCB?
Define.
Yeah, it's not a. Yeah. It's This is the. I'll bring this one up. This is from quite a number of years back. This is just the El Primero Range Rover
Ooh.
edition. Okay.
Mhm.
Now have a look at this. Have a look at this watch, man. It is the fucking tits. It's such a nice watch.
I love
It's
that. Wow.
got this. They call it's an aluminium ceramized aluminium, whatever the hell that means. Some sort of ceramic alloy of aluminium in the case. Brush dial. Just this beautiful, beautiful watch. I really wanted to buy this watch, except it's got Range Rover written on the dial.
Mm.
What?
right.
Oh, that's stealth. I didn't even see it. It's right at the end of the name. Okay. I see it.
Yeah.
See it now.
I don't mind it.
Oh, even on the.
Yeah, I don't mind
on
that.
the rotor, man.
Yeah. I don't mind the bit on the rotor because that's hidden. You don't really see it, right? But I just think in terms of a collab, like just a beautiful looking watch, really, really nice
Gorgeous.
watch. 42 mil, it's not too big. So yeah, I just thought this came out a number of years ago when I was sort of looking at buying an El Primero. And I'd actually bought my one, and I was looking to buy another El Primero. I wanted another
The
one.
alternate, yeah.
Yeah, and I saw this one, and I thought, oh my god, that black case is just stealthy. It's just a really, really nice watch. It's nice and slim.
And it was not very expensive, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it wasn't too expensive either. So yeah, just a really, really nice watch. But it had the Range Rover on the dial. So it's this is that thing I was getting at before. Like, if you're, you know, with the watch collabs, sort of like you have to own the car to get the watch, or you have to really be into the brand to get that watch, because you're gonna, you know, it's gonna have that brand on the dial, and you're gonna be looking down at that all the time. So yeah, that's obviously I didn't go for it because of that. I always was thinking to myself, why the hell did they not just bring this out like a regular production, or even a limited edition one, just without the Range Rover? It would have sold like hotcakes. It would have just gone off its head.
But if you really want this watch, reach out to the Range Rover dealer, because I've been in a similar position. Not sure if one of the old people remembers Saab, the Swedish car maker, had a cooperation with IWC. I'm staying here on topic at the moment. 1 second, let me share the screen. So what? Awesome. Can you pull that up, please, Thomas?
Yeah.
That I have in the background. So. If I remember correctly, 1997.
Wow. Nice.
Saab made a convertible in yellow color.
And every buyer
of this Saab Yellow Mellow, it was called the Yellow Mellow edition. He received a free IWC titanium Mark 11 watch. No, Mark 12.
Mark 12.
Was back then.
Yeah, it's really nice.
It didn't have anything to do with the Mark 12 because it had an ETA movement versus the JLC movement that they had back then. And I so wanted that watch in the 2000s. I didn't buy a Saab car. What I did is I reached out to Saab Automobiles. They had a big dealership in Hamburg. And they managed to get me one of the watches. Do you know how?
Through dealer.
No, they had some loaners, some presentation cars, and one client crashed one of those cars. So the car was a write-off, but they still had the watch.
Yeah.
So I would say same situation probably with Range Rover, that they have 1 or 2 watches over.
That's pretty cool.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Those Mark 12s are awesome, by the way. I don't know if any of you have had them before in your hand, seen them in the metal. They are proportions. I mean, even the date window might look a little bit out of place, but it's so good. It's such a well-balanced size. ETA, it's bulletproof. A friend of mine got this as his first watch with his dad. He was traveling through Germany and he picked up one of these, and it's his favorite watch. He would sell anything before selling this. Mark 12
I was stupid enough to sell this watch at a point.
You sold it, did you, Jonathan?
And this one has Saab on the dial, is that right?
Saab on the dial.
Yeah.
1 second, I tried to.
Yeah.
Why would they do that? You know, it's like it's not that bad actually. Compared to it actually gives it a bit of a. It's quite a nice branding. The logo looks good, so it doesn't affect it too badly, you know.
Yes, and to defend IWC and Saab, I'm pretty sure. Well, Saab paid the bill, so that was not the collaboration that said, "Okay, you have the car, now you have to buy the IWC if you want that." The IWC came free of charge, included with the car. So I'm pretty sure Saab paid for the bill entirely, and of course they wanted their logo having been printed on the dial. Then
I remember those yellow convertibles. I think it was like a 900S model or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now Saab, they're no longer in existence. Is that right?
No, they even had that beautiful yellow case. Usually the IWC cases are white leathered.
Yeah,
it's really nice.
See, I would buy this watch. Like, this is a watch collab. This is a car collab that I would buy, because it's sort of like, I don't give a shit about that. I don't like the brand. The fact that the brand doesn't exist anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it's like a weird ass watch. Like, that's why I would buy it, to have as it's like a collector's piece. It really.
And the Mark 12 is a fantastic watch, just design wise. It's right up there with the Mark 11 with regards to like proportions, balance. Really
How do you like the Mark 16 in comparison?
Does that have the sword hands in comparison, or are there also those? It's the stick hands that sell it for me. I love those stubby hands that the Mark 11 and 12s and all of those earlier models had. The 16, I'm trying to think off the top of my head. I can't picture it.
Let me try
directly.
to pull that up.
Yeah, they're great though. Those early gens were so good.
Mm.
You were chatting about Zenith, and I hopped in just when you were chatting about Zenith.
Yeah.
I swapped out my Tudor for a Zenith that I picked up.
Oh, let's see this.
Show us. Come on, man. Come on. Boom.
Oh,
Nice.
Little 8384. I was one of the luckiest finds ever.
beautiful.
It's spectacular. It's such a cute little thing.
Oh, such an
Looks
amazing
so nice.
watch. I'm lusting up one of those myself.
I stumbled on it and saw the price and said, that's a really good price. And then the next day came back and said, that's a really, really good price. Then the third day, I was saying to myself, you're going to kick yourself for the rest of your life if you don't pull the trigger on this. For what the watch is, what it represents as an El Primero.
Yeah.
Now
And
you
it-
mentioned the price
made-
3 times. What was the price?
It was £4,000.
Oh shit. Okay.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
that's
As
really
opposed to something like 7. I think they retail for 7.5.
Mm.
Yeah, they do.
And
Wow.
this hadn't been worn. It was brand spanking new.
Yeah.
Wow.
Good nick, that
So
one.
good. And I mean, Mr. JCB will
Uh.
tell you how fantastic of a watch it is with regards to the history in the background and caliber 400. It's pretty incredible how this watch has been
Beautiful
around
watch.
for what, 50 years? That the movement's been around for about 50 years, give or take.
Yeah.
And they haven't changed it. It's just
Yeah.
rock solid. So with regards to cars and watches, I think it's quite an unloved little gem, the El Primero, the original, and the
I love
886,
I love it.
385. There's so many.
Yeah.
I mean, I was chatting to JCB about it. Collecting this collection of these original square cases, that would be pretty cool. Eh?
Yeah.
Having the A3818, 816, A385. There's so many variations. That the shadow. What's that? I don't know what that
Yeah,
is.
it's a whole little it's a cool little niche that you can get into, I reckon. Because with the exception of some of the limited edition runs, like what you've done, you've picked up a killer piece
nice.
for a really good price.
nice.
You know, you can
It's
get
just
these.
a joke. It's a joke to think
Yeah.
that people just don't look at them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's
So-
the thing. It's the guys like us who know about it. We can swoop in and we can pick them up. That's sort of the beauty of it. So
The deals you
it's
can
good.
find, the bargains you can find in these areas. I mean, Jean-Claude Beaver again will tell you about how Zenith, even today, so overlooked in every area practically with regards to what you can find, and it's nuts. I mean, the further you get into the rabbit hole, and you find these little gems hidden away, where everyone's looking at the Speedmaster or whatever else, and you just think of the capability of this movement. High beat,
Automatic. Yeah.
high beat, automatic, date. It's column wheel, and it was built to be this entirely integrated movement, as opposed to being a caliber stacked on top of another caliber. Ahead of its time. I mean, yeah. Again, Mr. Beaver will mention how it was called a genius move. I mean, the watchmakers today still call it the work of genius. So yeah, it's a gem. So we're talking about cars and watches.
Let's see it on wrist.
Oh, it's tiny. It's
What
37, but it's just cute, man.
What strap have you got
it's not
going on
bad.
there? It's
Yeah,
like a
looks
strap
good.
with a
Yeah,
deployant.
man. I go the full length, so I get an aftermarket
Fuck.
deployant.
Nice.
IDGuy, I have a question.
It's so good.
I'm seeing now the second watch on the NATO strap. Are you behind Langis and Langis on NATO's on Instagram?
No, but I've seen Langers on NATO's. I find it interesting, eh? I don't know if I could pull it off though. I mean, having a datograph in hand on leather just feels right, you know.
Absolutely, yeah.
On a NATO with a Langer,
I think
I've seen
that
them
is
on grade.
sacrilege, but it's so off that it's even funny now.
Yeah,
So
I don't know.
I
They put like an
really enjoy
RAF strap on it, or like a
Yeah.
James. It doesn't make any sense. James Bond, like gray stripes on it. What? So this watch, this whole watch, even the strap. I mean, this is a OEM Omega NATO, which is ridiculously priced if you get it brand new. I found this for something like £40 on eBay, and just fitted it to a aftermarket deployant. So you have the best of both worlds. You got the quality closure of a deployant, but then when you're wearing it around in the summer, you're not going to sweat through a band, and it's super comfortable, lightweight,
That's so
easy to
cool.
wear.
I love
And
it.
That's nice.
there we go. And it's so under the radar too. I mean, no one would ever no one even looks at this watch, which is
Yeah, and if your car seatbelt fails, you can use that strap.
yeah, right. Lock yourself in, you're good. Yeah, man, it's been awesome.
How good is the case shape on that watch? Like,
It's something else. It took me a little while to get used to it. I must say that it's like a hybrid tonneau. The whole idea of them transitioning into the 70s, it's like boxy but blocky, but also elegant. And the way they've done the polishing and the flat profile, it's something. It's really it's a beautiful. I don't know. It's hard to put into words. It's one of the most beautiful chronographs I've experienced. For the money,
I think I've been on this channel, on my channel, on whatever channels I've been on. I've always said with that watch, you won't get it until you actually get it on your wrist. Yeah, and then it all makes sense. Then you're like, I get it. Like, this is a sick watch. They made something special with this piece.
And the little. I know we sometimes bash on accent colors, like the red on the second hand and things like that, but it does complete it. It does tie it up a bit more. It's the contrasting colors of black, white, bright red, and the red is always the thing that draws your eye in the second you look at the dial. It's something cool. So we're talking about racing watches. I mean, I don't even know if the A384 ever was featured as a racing watch or for a car. I mean, as far as I know, this was the first watch that premiered the El Primero in advertising, but that's about as far as it went. Straight after they had the A385 and then the A386, which had the tricolor dial, and that set the ball in motion. I think one of my favorite chronographs of all time. I've said this years ago, but the G381, if someone can open up a tab to look at the G381 El Primero, that is, I mean, I would have one of those over an Ed White Speedmaster any day. Stunning. It puts something like Daytona, all of those pieces. It just kicks in the teeth. It's one of the most beautiful executions of a chronograph, Panda dial especially. It's so good.
Have you got it, JCB?
Yeah, I've got it there. Yep.
G381.
G381 in gold.
In gold, yeah. They only ever came out in
With
that
the
yellow
small
gold
batons?
configuration. Small batons, just stunning. The hour and minute hands, stunning. Tachymeter scale in white on the outside is a bit different, with a black contrast inside. Big subdials with a small one. Oh, it's so neat. And I think Hodinkee made a limited edition of these, and they're sold out within seconds, as you'd imagine. But just beautiful.
Revival. Yeah, 50 pieces worldwide.
So irritating, man.
20
if I
grand.
were Osprey, this would be.
Oh, look at that. It's
so
sick.
good. It's so good.
It's really good. Yeah. Really
Me and
nice.
gilt dials. I just can't get enough of them, man. If I see gilt lettering on a dial, even if it's gilt subdials, won me over. But what I find so great is that it's ridiculously legible for what it is. It's not a big watch. It's 37 mils, but you can read every little detail. You can tell the time so easily. The subdials are emphasized for the chronograph function, which is exactly what it should be as a stopwatch for racing. I would imagine the idea was that this was going to be used as a racing timer. Oh, you could just look at it for hours. It's just modern art.
I prefer the tonneau case to the A384 to do better. Yeah,
it is a defining feature, I think, of the original El Primero, gotta say. But A386 case isn't bad. The brushed lugs on the top is so neat, so neat.
Jonathan, were you wanting to share a screen?
No. I think it's long gone, so no problem.
Yeah,
I'm checking for the next one.
Yeah, that's great. I don't know if you've chatted about Hoya yet, or if we're still getting there.
Oh, we had one at the start, but
Okay.
I think we'll get there eventually. While we're I think maybe to close off on the Zenith discussion, just a quickly, where are we? There was another Range
Talking about the
Rover.
Defy.
Yeah, so this is the Defy Skeleton Range Rover edition. So they had, you'll know the regular Defy Skeleton. This is the Defy Classic Skeleton. You can sort of see the shape of the
Of the rims, yeah, nice.
Yeah, but on on this one, on the Range Rover, they've just made the shape. There's like an extra little cutout here to make
Neat.
this more like the shape of the wheel of the Range Rover. So you can see there's the wheel of
really cool there.
the Ranger. Yeah, so they're pretty cool. I mean, this one just went under the like most Zeniths, they fly under the radar. Not many people know about them. So yeah, that's just another one of the Range Rover
And
collabs
must
with
say,
Zenith.
I have to throw in, now having this tonneau case and wearing it, I feel so much. I look at the Defy case very differently now, because it's a callback in many ways to that original case they did in the late 60s, and you feel that with the hard edges, especially by the lugs, how they integrate. It's so neat.
Yeah.
Don't know so much about the rim integration. It's nice. It's under the radar. Defy has always been about skeletoning. They like that whole direction. The original Defy is a bit too much for a lot of us, I think. But the modern direction of the Defy is neat. And they've done chronographs, haven't they? They've done Defy chronographs, and they look gorgeous.
Yeah, the first one Thomas brought up was the Defy 21 Land Rover edition. All right, I'll leave it there.
Nice.
What do you got, Thomas? What do we got next?
Right, well, we're going to go from nice, beautifully shaped, cheaper watches to ridiculously shaped, expensive watches. I don't know what your take is on these, IDGuy.
That's right in mine alley.
I'm just along for the ride. I don't know what's going on.
We're going to go for a Hublot.
Oh man,
Oh.
this is cool. This is
Oh my.
the LaFerrari one, huh?
The LaFerrari. This is
cool.
This is in 2013. This is 300,000 Swiss francs,
Oh,
and a tapering matte black titanium and carbon fiber case with horizontally mounted tourbillon. The watch contained 637 parts in the movement itself. At the time, more parts than any of the Hublot movement ever produced, and probably still the most of it put in the watch to this day. Much of the complexity was to allow for the ridiculously long power reserve of 50 days.
That's so cool, man. That is so cool.
50 days.
Yeah.
yeah, but
Crank
but
it up.
you need
Crank it
a
up with the key inside there. It's so cool. I love it.
no, it's got like a drill. It's got like a
Yeah,
power
exactly,
drill.
yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
I'm going to show
So
that.
cool.
These by 11 mainspring barrels coupled together. Winding is such a chore. The Hublot, the pictures are a bit small here.
There's the car.
Oh, such a cool car.
Ooh, that's even better.
Yeah, yeah.
There you
Yeah,
go.
one shoulder
Yeah.
provides a small electronic screwdriver and tool set. Only to wind at the time because of the torque and the time needed to wind many barrels.
And people bag Hublot out, man. Come on, they came out with this. How cool is that?
They skimped on the drill. Let's be honest. I mean, you look at the design of that drill was a 5-minute job. They were just like, just whatever, just put it into CAD, just make the thing. We don't give a shit.
They just looked up on AliExpress, whatever was the what was the first thing that came up.
Isn't that a declaration of defeat if you have such a thing to wind the watch up?
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit of an oversight, eh? You're right.
Yeah, yeah. Isn't it just admitting, we screwed it up and made it totally impractical? So
You say it's a 50-day power reserve, Thomas. That's nuts.
50 days.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. I mean, a month and a half.
Yeah.
You can do a lot in that time.
Yeah.
It tells the time using barrels that rotate, barrel drums that rotate, and was limited to 50 pieces. So it's a wacky one.
Can you just imagine someone being like, "Hold on, I'm just going to get my Dremel tool and just shove it in."
I really would like to know what they have been smoking or enjoying as drugs when they came up with that construction.
It's funny. Yeah.
I would understand if they connected to the Formula One team, right? Because you have the gun to change the tires, so it would connect it, but it isn't, right? It's LaFerrari Hublot edition, so
Yeah.
I think they've wanted that LaFerrari to be the Ferrari celebration of their racing pedigree, and I guess a lot of that development comes from their Formula One background, I would imagine. So I think in a way they were subliminally with the LaFerrari. I don't know the full press, but I would imagine they subliminally wanted it to be that celebration of their racing pedigree. I mean, it obviously was of their racing pedigree. They tried.
Yeah, I mean, this is a carbon one. They've done it in sapphire and in gold, sapphire crystal and in gold as well. But yeah, ridiculous.
I want to see more contrast on this, like a red strap. The gold one looked good. I think the gold had some nice accents in places. This looks a bit plain for what it is.
Not as flashy.
But of course, now Ferrari is all Richard Mille, huh? They've cut people out.
Well, we'll move on to that.
Yeah, they started with Gérard Pergaud, then they moved over to Hublot, and now they're Richard Mille.
Richard Mille, that was quite a good financial decision for them.
That's a massive jump.
Can you imagine the turnover? Holy smokes.
We'll move on to one Ferrari Richard Mille, which is the RM-P-01 Ferrari. This is
the credit card watch?
Yeah.
A mechanical watch at 1.75 millimeters thick. And this one is even more expensive, $1,888,000.
That's one expensive credit card, huh?
150 pieces, was made in 2022, made from grade 5 titanium. This is ultra thin and ultra light, using a more monoblock style design, and has a case back made from the same block of titanium as the front or bezel section, whereas most watch cases use a front and middle case back and a case back. The main plate for the movement is in the middle or resting on the case back. The time is displayed on a very small black register in the center of the top half of the face of the watch, and the circle to the right displays the balance. Both of the displays are covered by thin sapphire crystals, and two circles to the left of the black dial are used for selecting whether to change time or wind the watch. And the lowermost dial is used to wind the watch. This looks like it's done by some sort of key, because you can't wind the watch. The watch actually has 10-meter water resistance if you're going to take it in water.
What? So, did you say 10?
10 whole meters, man.
10.
Wow.
So it's splash-proof at least. And the Caliber RMU-P01 was a collaboration with Audemars Piguet workshops in the Loch, previously known as Audemars Piguet Renault Papy, and who worked extremely closely with Richard Mille on most of the brand's complicated pieces from design to production. And the movement measures just 1.18 millimeters. It totally weighs 2.82 grams and is capable of withstanding accelerations of more than 5,000 Gs. It also has 45 hours power reserve and it's just 1.75 mil thick. The black rubber strap is thicker than the watch itself.
Did you say 2.82 grams?
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Fuck.
That's where titanium comes handy.
That's like nothing. That's literally nothing.
Yeah, we made an entire Swiss and John show about the technical merits about building ultra slim watches, and from a technology standpoint, there are some really nice features. What I can't get over is that screw in the middle of the watch that prevents that the case is flexing. Not sure. We have our design expert here. What he thinks of that, the screw that is a little bit left upper on the Ferrari pranking horse.
Yeah, I can see it's awkward. Yeah, it looks like the real afterthought. But again, it's just the whole thing. It's as far as a technological feat, it's pretty amazing. But as a watch, Altiplano thin, as an example. Such beautiful thin watches that you can get to any kind of Jaeger LeCoultre of this kind of caliber. They are just exceptionally good looking watches. This to me could be a radio, it could be a kid's toy, it could be anything. Happy Meal. It just doesn't. It's just not. I mean, look at the time telling. It's not even it didn't even feature. It's not even a main part of the configuration, as is most of the time it happens with the super thin pieces. Yeah, it's a thing.
Do we know, Jonathan, when you and Swiss were looking at this, like, see how the watch is so wide? Like, does it have to be that wide? Is that
Good idea.
They relied on a trick, so they were putting all important watch components aside and not over each other in order to save some thickness, some height. So that is the construction philosophy behind that.
Yeah, sure,
it's a good sacrifice. It's good. I mean, you see that all the time. They like to skeletonize them, especially when they're super, super thin. Everything is stacked on one plane. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. But it's really fucking wide, though. If you see it on someone's wrist,
it's huge.
It's ridiculous.
There you go.
What the fuck the hell?
It looks like a credit card. Come on, guys.
Terrible, man.
Well, I think that's why
sort of watch.
Richard Mille does that much cocaine that I think he uses this as the line.
Strap on your ankle, and no one would even blink. If that was on your ankle, it looks like it's something that you would have to keep you at home. You know.
Just imagine how many laughs they had during that photo shoot. That model is saying, "Wow, what that ugly thing."
What am I doing? Why did I get into Ferrari for this?
Yeah, Leclerc is definitely saying,
I can't win a season, but I have to wear this.
Exactly, yeah. This is my reward for not winning a season.
This is my award,
yeah. My parents told me to stay at school, and now here I am now.
It's not going to go into the sleeve, is it? It's not going to fit the sleeve, is it?
No. It must be the most uncomfortable thing to wear.
It's going to be like popping on top of your
like
shirts.
Flexing your wrist, it just digs right in. Actually, it'll cut and bleed because it's so thin.
And
yeah,
10
it's
meters.
like a safety razor.
That is really neat, though. I like. I mean, that attention to detail is nuts.
If you sweat while you're wearing it with the 10 meters water resistant, would you make the movement? Let's say.
I think sweat. You just
sweat.
You'd affect the timing. I'd imagine. Yeah. Drop of sweat and it's just screwed. Yeah, interesting. Good milestone, but. Gee, there's some beautiful things out there.
Is this
today.
still the world's thinnest watch? Do we know?
Yeah. Yes.
Came out last year, so I don't think anyone's rivaled it yet.
Okay. I'm surprised that Piaget haven't made.
Yeah, right.
Because they've always been the king. Like they're the king of the thin watches, and then out of nowhere, Richard Mille just came out with this.
Weren't Bulgari thinner than Piaget, and then
that's right. Yeah, Bulgari.
Bulgari had a really good one.
Yeah, but I think the Bulgari guys say, look, guys, here you need an external key to wind this watch up. With our watch, you can wind it directly. So I think there is some dispute, which is really the thinnest watch in terms of practicability.
It's ridiculous, eh? I mean, if it's thin enough to be able to take a barrel where you can actually, you can actually wind it with a stem. I think that's the award. You don't need to have to use a tool to wind it. It's so cool to be able to do it on the fly, no problem.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Exactly.
Having to have an external tool is just...
Orange Hand's saying impressive thinness, but what does it have to do with Ferrari? I think that Richard Mille just stuck Ferrari on the...
There's a horse on the dial, that's about it, yeah.
Stuck the horse on the dial. I don't know whether it has much to do with Ferrari, to be honest with you, Orange Hand.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been better car collaborations, I think.
We'll get rid of that one, but I'm afraid we're going to stick with Richard Mille.
Okay. What else did they do?
What have we done, Thomas,
McLaren.
that you're torturing us?
I'm sorry.
They had a couple with the drivers also, like Kimi Raikkonen, Felipe Massa.
Torbjörn's RM5003. McLaren Formula One.
Fucking
McLaren in red
watch, man. Jesus Christ.
Okay.
It's weird, right?
Fooled me.
Come on, JCB, you don't need
McLaren
an external tool to wind this thing up.
Okay, all right. It's cool. It's cool. Okay. I love it.
They're often serving 135-mile tennis balls, impacting a groundbreaking 7-gram RM 027 tourbillon. This McLaren Formula One collaboration by RM weighs a bit more at 40 grams, including the strap. Released at SIHH in 2017, it was the lightest split-second chronograph with a tourbillon the world had ever seen. The material for the case was conceived through a collaboration between McLaren and Nobel Prize-winning scientists from the University of Manchester. The case spans titanium, carbon, thin ply technology, and an exclusive RM first called Graph TPT, which is better known as graphene, which is 6 times lighter than steel and 200 times as strong. This is the first collaboration between RM and McLaren, which is meant to be a 10-year deal. The watch's movement weighs only 7 grams, while housing a split-second chronograph, tourbillon, power reserve, and torque sensors. This is, of course, achieved through skeletonization, along with the use of titanium and thin ply technology, carbon for the heavier base plate and the movement bridges. The cage that supports the entire caliber is attached by the case band and made from the same thin ply technology as the case, an element directly inspired by the suspension structure of McLaren Formula One Honda car. At the root of the partnership, this design enables the movement to withstand the significant amounts of G-force one might experience accelerating and decelerating the cockpit of an F1 car. The movement has a 70-hour power reserve shown at 11 o'clock and a new split-second system, including the new column wheel operating the different levels of the split-second function. Many components of the watch itself, like the dial, barrel, and the minute wheels, exhibit hallmarks of horology, they say, like classic hand finishing techniques that bring an added layer of polish and contrast to the watch's otherwise menacing exterior. The elastic band style strap is designed to emulate an F1 cockpit seat belt, and in tandem with McLaren's graphene applications, RM gave the rubber strap the same treatment, injecting monomaterial directly into the elastomers to make the strap greater elasticity, wear, and resistance. So this one is a mere 980,000 francs before VAT.
Yeah, worth every penny.
It's still ugly.
Mr. Beaver, tell us how you really think. You're the chronograph guy.
Look. Okay. Well, now, after you've said all that, Thomas, and I get it. Like, I get the material, the graphene, and all of the work that's gone into it. It's a split-second chronograph. I get all that stuff, and okay, cool. Yep, technically amazing piece, right? But I mean, just when it came up on the screen, we all just went, what the hell? Like,
I know.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like, why can't they make something that just looks a little bit better? I mean, I
find it
I get all the technical stuff though. That's cool.
I find it significant that they felt the need to put that McLaren plaque on, which makes it really ridiculous. Because if you look at the watch,
it's already ridiculous enough.
This is a black watch with red highlights. The crown has red highlights. The strap has red highlights. So I've seen other straps, I know, but there are inside. So on the dial there are red highlights. If you look at the top, that is the Italian flag: green, white, red. So this entire watch screams Ferrari. So just to make sure that this is not a Ferrari watch, they had to add that McLaren flag.
The biggest irony of all is that the crown is really cool. The crown is really nice. It looks like the end of a gun barrel. It's got so many cool little details from a manufacturing point of view. It's so nice. The pushers look great at the 4 and at the 8 position. It's neat. The case looks okay. The strap looks okay, but the dial. If they had to make a dial that had more structure, looked more like a flat-faced dial, and they left the skeletonizing for the back, maybe a subtle call like you see with the wishbones for the suspension, whatever, having that open, but leaving the dial looking more like a dial and not skeletonized, I think it would actually work very well. It would for Richard Mille, They look great. There's the edge. Oh,
Well,
What?
yeah.
Oh,
No way.
okay.
fuck.
Scrap that. Let's
That's
start
too
again.
thick.
You better stop praising that particular watch. I would say no.
What
from
the hell were
that
they thinking?
perspective.
What is that? 18
That
mil
hurts
thick?
my eye, to be
Well,
honest. That
And
hurts my eye.
IDGuy, you praised the design of the crown. Can we have a look at the crown again? Because
Yeah,
that
crown's cool.
reminds me of my auntie who had a car, and
Yeah.
she used this kind of rubber cover to make the steering wheel more grippy.
Yeah, I like it. I don't know what it is. I think just my years of being behind a this feels like something just made on a CAD program. But all the years behind it, that's the kind of result that you try to go for, where you have that rubber finish to just make the grip more pleasurable, plus the end knob having a bit of a nice finishing, and there's some great detail there. I don't know if that's titanium or something they've used, grade 5 polish, I don't know, but it looks pretty cool. But then you get to the thickness of the thing,
Fuck.
and just the
That's crazy.
This thing needs to be thrown into the fires of Mordor.
even that
Frodo
wouldn't
fucking
destroy it, though.
Bilbo
That
Baggins
wouldn't
needs to
even
go up
end it.
there, grab the watch and throw the thing in and just watch it burn. That's what needs to happen.
Yeah.
It reminds
Yeah,
me, I mean, when I'm a 90s kid, and it reminds me of, you used to be able to get these digital watches, big freaking huge things that would house sweets inside. You would push a button and it would flip open.
Look at
Yeah.
that thing.
And I used to love those things. I used to, and it had a Velcro strap. It feels exactly like this.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's it right there. In the modern sense, you want to be a 40-year-old wearing a 90s kid's sweets dispenser watch. There it is, boy. You got it.
IDGuy, is it the Pepes or Perez?
No. I don't know
Pez.
what the name was.
Pez.
There wasn't
Pez,
one
yes,
Pez.
it's the one that
There
goes like that.
was with the head. Yeah, no, it wasn't those.
Yeah.
No, this is something else.
Yeah,
But
if you
for
just look at the
Does the,
colors,
Read it
Does
all.
the above
Screen
watch
Ferrari.
article tell us the thickness? Does it actually have the measurement
20 mils?
somewhere?
20,
Or is it just
yeah, I would guess.
Is it like
18, at least. It
just-
must be like between 16
Yeah.
and 18, I would imagine, on a good day.
oh
What
I
a
reckon it's closer to 20 I would have
Yeah.
thought.
But the thing is,
Imagine-
Richard Mille do make a few great watches that are minimalist. They've done some with metal cases before that are pretty slim and small, just time only.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
only
yeah.
a couple of them though, not
Yeah.
many.
Yeah,
Very
not
few.
many.
With like
Chili
rose
just
gold.
sounds exactly
Yeah, that's a great description. Yeah.
Okay,
You can
that's
barely see the McLaren badge on this angle.
That's rubbish, man.
Yeah, if you just look at the colors, it screams Ferrari. Like
Yes,
this
I
is
thought
the
it was
Richard
an
Mille
Italian,
for Ferrari,
Italian for Ferrari.
for someone
Like-
with a big belly out of spaghetti.
That's
Can I-
Italian
can
guy
I-
with a big belly.
Can we just talk about the case for a minute, right? Like, okay,
Do we have
this
to?
well, this case is made out of a material called graphene, right?
Mm.
Which is whatever it is, it's some crazy
It's a
material.
derivative of graphite.
Okay, there you go. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Hopefully not.
Okay, so we've got things like this. We've got things like carbon. We've got like really lightweight, and we've got really really strong materials. But I mean, do they look good though? Like,
No,
That-
and that's
they
that's
just-
the
they
that's
just
the
don't,
exact
like-
answer. I think for all of us,
yeah,
they need to look
it's
good
like-
too. It helps.
That's what I'm saying. It's like
No,
okay,
no. You're not
Like-
speaking for all of us. Actually, I
Okay.
like that layered look. That is the only
Ah,
positive that
okay.
I like on this particular watch. I like that layered look.
But the finishing on the surface, you mean? Of
Yeah,
the
the different.
okay.
It looks like the rings on a tree when you cut it open.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah. There's some good effects. It is a good effect.
It looks like a knife, like when you make layered
Damascus
Yeah,
steel.
Damascus lime.
like
Yeah.
the Master Steel. So okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's great. It's
okay.
just
we-
the
Yeah, I don't know, I'm
this
not
didn't
down
look
with it.
praised it. We'll get rid of it now.
Yeah.
materials
the
are
next,
good.
The
but-
next Richard Mille.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
Oh.
My eyes are burning.
I just don't understand why
You've been
McLaren chose the
sunburned,
red
and now
one.
you've
here.
been eye-burned.
Yeah.
There's an
Sunburn
orange
and
one.
island.
Isn't there a one with orange,
Orange
as
one.
well?
Hmm.
Yeah, I think
Is
the
it
one
the,
that
is it the same model or a different model?
I think they had a different one now. Even the one that Lando Norris wears, it's a bit thinner and smaller. Has also this Velcro strap, but really smaller. like 30 grams.
I think they've tried to make one that has that Gulf oil callback with the light blue and the orange that they're trying to grab. I don't know if Richard Mill's done that.
Was it Tag Heuer after that?
Tag Heuer's gone big on Gulf in the
On
past.
the Monaco.
Oh,
Yeah, the Monaco.
they've done some interesting ones.
Yeah.
Okay, so next up we've got the Bugatti Jacob & Co. Bugatti Chiron Sapphire.
It doesn't get any better, Thomas.
Wow. We're scraping the bottom of the barrel, boys.
Seven
This is
made,
the cool looking watch.
$1,300,000. This one. The
1
first
million.
Jacob got 500 Bugatti Chirons made, and 7 of these made. This is a 57.8 millimeters in length, 44.4 wide, and 21.5 thick. So this is thicker than the other one. This is for you, Y2K. This one.
Mr. Beaver's
Yeah.
holding in the vomit. I can see he's holding the vom down.
This would be mine when Thomas gives me the financial capabilities to purchase it. But I prefer the
There's
car than the watch. I'm sorry, Thomas. You give me the car. I'll take the car any day than the watch.
This is the first Bugatti & Co. Chiron came out in 2020, and I believe, and the version came out in 2022. This version, now made in full sapphire crystal with anti-reflection coating. The case is very difficult to machine as it hooks the movement and has the Bugatti horseshoe-shaped grille at 12 o'clock. The crown and pushers are made of sapphire crystal and titanium and are situated at the bottom side of the watch. The left crown sets the time. The middle one winds both the movement and the automation function on the right. And there's a pusher to start an animation. The bottom of the watch face has a sapphire crystal engine, has a miniature crankshaft milled from a solid piece of steel. This crankshaft drives 16 pistons up and down, just as it would a real car. There's a suspended hour ring to read the time, the hour, and the indices. Six absorbers and turbine cage have a touch of red. The power reserve indicator shows the colours of the French flag too. And as Bugatti logo is in France, the fully exposed J-Cam 37 movement is made in-house, and level of detail in the entire movement. The timing side of the automation is proper horology, they say, and the manually wound movement uses 578 components, including 51 jewels. Suspended the movement using working shock absorbers pose a challenge, as you can damage the linking to the stationary crowns upon impact. The solution uses a patented automotive-style transfer system to allow for a bit of play whilst keeping everything connected, neat and tidy. When fully wound, the watches has 60 hours of power reserve, and the watch is also fitted with a white rubber strap with a titanium folding buckle. Oh, that was
Can that be controversial?
Take a
Shall we
break.
give a
Take
hand to
a
Thomas
rest,
for his
Thomas.
Take a breath, yeah. Take a breath.
Yeah,
You've done
take
your
a
work,
breath,
Thomas.
You
I
can
kinda
see
like
Thomas,
here.
get some water.
You can see here underneath. These are the crown.
I kind of like it. I do. Because
okay.
it feels
you
like-
go first. You go
It
first.
feels like there's actually a brief that they've followed, and a lot of things feel considered. This angle, it looks like a toaster. I'm not going to lie, but you put it up on the front, and you can see that direct drive to the front, and how the tourbillon sitting at the very top, and how everything's nice and linear. Four corner suspension on all sides, keeping the movement up. It feels like there was a lot of design thought put into this watch. The sapphire case is a nice novelty because it is a freaking hard thing to make.
No, this thing's all about the it's all about the engine. It's all about the engine. I've got a check this out.
I don't know so much about the sapphire heads. I would have preferred to have had the heads.
Bring up this
out of
video,
something like
Thomas.
titanium or something.
Yeah, I think there are a couple of versions of them. I think one guy, a car guy called Manny Kobayashi, I think he has a Bugatti, a white one, and he had a special a white cased one, which looked actually quite nice. But you had to have the car, right? He has the car in white, and he got the watch in white just to complete like a set.
I've just been sick in my mouth.
Bring up my screen, Thomas. Bring up my screen, man.
And then on either side of the case, you've got the air intake, the that curly C. Okay.
So that's
the diamonds. Do we have to?
No. But you can look at the inside. Look at the movement.
Yeah,
It's got the
nice.
engine. It's got the
Yeah,
It's got the 16 cylinder thing going through the engine.
But if I remember,
I think that's cool.
if I
That
know
block could have been-
correctly,
sorry.
this is an automation, so it doesn't work always like that.
You have to push it. You have to engage
Push
it.
it, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
they are.
Yeah, yeah.
Does it have a separate mainspring for it? I'd imagine it does.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I hope.
It has a separate button on the right-hand side that you push in to do this automation.
It's really neat.
Look at that. That's cool.
I don't know so
Come on.
much about on all honesty, the engine block could have been machined way better. That just looks like someone stuck 2 blocks of perspex on the, which is quite a deal
That's how
breaker.
they did for the Bugatti engine. So
2 blocks of perspex.
yeah, they took 2 W8 blocks and welded them
stacked
together.
them. Yeah. I just think a better metal, a nice metal would have made a big difference. If they had machined some nice divots on the surface of the head, the engine actual block, to add a bit more detail, because you can see the main drive happening right in the middle, which is nice. Also, what Jacob does nicely is the fact that they have this similar to Grubel. You have that awesome 3-dimensionality around it. You can really observe every angle inside and around, and it's an off-axis tourbillon, which is cool, which means it actually works. It actually performs. It does its job.
Yeah, but again, there is, in my opinion, a design flaw, because the tourbillon, if you have that watch on the wrist, the tourbillon is invisible for you as a viewer.
Yeah, it's the top end. Yeah, you're
Yeah,
right.
so it would be better to have it on the lower end.
And it could almost be like the fan, the fan in the front of the engine running.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. Yes. Instead of that ugly visuals that you compare to a toaster, it would be so much nicer to have the tourbillon side.
Tourbillon running right in front of you. Yeah. The toaster grill. I don't know what that was about. That was a bit of a weird.
Yeah,
piece
probably
of,
they ran out of budget when.
Yeah. the last few thousand they had to sort of like run through.
I added the link for this
link.
white
You're
one.
a real scary judge of character, Thomas.
The link is in the chat.
With the white one and the guy with his car. Which I think, that makes a lot of sense. Like, if you get the watch and you customize it according to your customized Bugatti, that's...
I believe that's the part of the brief, that you can actually build it to the exact spec of your car, which is pretty cool. And you keep that in your glove box or whatever else. It's pretty nice. Very overkill, but pretty nice.
Yeah. Yeah, that's another example of only buying the car, the watch if you have the car, because otherwise it doesn't make any sense.
Abdul, you can only get one.
Right.
Once you buy the watch, there's no money for the car. Once you buy the car, no money for the watch.
Well, we'll move on from Jacob & Go, but another watch that was made for Bugatti, the Parmigiani Bugatti Chiron Sport.
Ooh.
So before Jacob & Go going on the act with their Bugatti Chiron watch in 2002, Parmigiani were back at it in 2016 at the launch of the Chiron in the Geneva Motor Show. The Type 390 watch uses a tubular-shaped movement, but the time is displayed in traditional way. 4 years in development, the cylindrical movement features a 1-minute flying tourbillon, and the engine block movement can be removed from the housing just like that of the racing car. The 2 series mounted barrels ensure relatively constant torque and store 80 hours of power reserve. The balance wheel has a Breguet overcoil with adjustment screws and is made by Atto Calpa, a sister company of Parmigiani, that is also part of the group of watchmaking companies controlled by the Sandoz Foundation. To wind the movement and adjust the time, Parmigiani designed a rod clamp which replaced the 4 common parts of an ordinary watch movement, a differential that with conical gears enables the display of the power reserve on the sapphire framing of the movement. The unique worm screw is used for the 90-degree transfer of the motion from the tubular engine to the inclined dial to display hours and minutes. And the fluid curves of the case are inspired by the Bugatti Chiron. The case is articulated and can pivot 2 degrees for enhanced comfort around the wrist. And the dial and case back are finely open worked, and they're limited to 10 pieces.
This is an odd one.
Yeah.
I mean, to pay tribute to a Bugatti, think of a watch like Vacheron Comte de Vache chronograph, and call that like the Atlantique, and just go on from there. It needs to be more elegant, man. What? Oy.
What? Yeah, that's a weird one. So what, the case pivots, right? Like you can, like it actually flexes there. I think.
by
looks like it
12
does, yeah.
degrees.
Yeah. Do we have like a wrist shot maybe while he's holding the steering wheel so I can see if that's why?
I just
Actually,
realized I
I
know what
have
it looks
one.
like. If we go back to a front view of it, it's just hit
a
me.
thick puppy.
Wait for it. Let's try to get, if we can get a head on, like further down. It looks like a slot machine.
Thomas,
Yeah,
can you
it
pull
does,
my
yeah.
image up? Because
Do you
I
want
have
your
picture.
watch to look like a slot machine on your wrist? That's the question.
Yeah.
I don't mind if you can do the ding 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 effect.
Yeah. Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
1 second, I try to find the wrist shot.
I mean, Parmigiani makes such cool watches, man. Thanks to Zenith, they helped them out at quite a few places with their chronograph, like the Tonda and other cool little pieces. But this is
But the stainless steel one's quite nice, actually.
It's out there, man.
I gotta say, inside the cockpit of the Bugatti, it actually works.
Pretty good.
Yeah, it works. But if you're just driving a Mazda Miata or something, that ain't gonna work.
Oh.
That's just not gonna
But
work.
let's be honest, inside a Bugatti, anything wild and outlandish kind of looks appropriate.
That looks pretty cool. Yeah. Yeah, in the
You could
cockpit.
put an MBNF,
okay.
you could put an UAVAC, you can put anything there.
Anything, man.
Anything funky, yeah.
I mean, just Uberk as an example. Damn, they make some cool pieces.
This one's 295,000 Swiss francs when it came out.
295.
Yeah.
Guys from
295,000.
Parmigiani have been smoking a lot on 420.
Well, it's a bargain compared to the Jacob
The
and the Richard Mille.
10 pieces in white gold or 10
True.
pieces in 10 pieces in pink gold.
Oh man. The thing is with cars, it might be a cliche, but with cars, you want chronograph, don't you? Isn't that like a part of the charm?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
A driving watch in the modern era has always historically had that racing chronograph feel to it, regardless of price and brand. Like the Vacheron 1921. That's been called a driver's watch.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's not a chronograph, though, is it?
I know it's not.
Oh.
But that also kind of fits into the theme of out there and outlandish.
Mm.
But at the same time, yeah, this is it's a watch.
Interesting. Is this like the most out there watch Parmigiani makes?
Well, no, I'll move on
Cool stuff.
to another Parmigiani.
Mm.
And this one's the Parmigiani Bugatti type.
Yeah.
Whoa.
That's more like it.
370. Rewind to 2001 when Bugatti were looking for a watch partner. 3 years later, in 2004, Parmigiani came up with a partnership with Bugatti. And I think this watch was originally for Bugatti Veyron instead of the Chiron.
Veyron, yeah.
So it houses a vertically orientated 10-day movement that sees the power delivered from gear to gear via drive shafts, and just in the same fashion as the power is translated in the car's transmission. The true driver watch style that sits on the side of the watch can be visible when hands are gripping the steering wheel, and the power reserve is indicated via a window on top case near the twin barrels, where the rest of the movement can also be seen working. The rear of the case is also
Stop. Imagine wearing this and trying to glance the time in this position. It's almost impossible.
You have to lie your wrist flat to look at it.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I like it though. It looks cool.
The
Looks
rear
great.
of the case is also transparent to view the balance wheel. Winding is done with a specially shaped keys which engage the sockets on the underside of the watch.
Oh, jeez.
And the Type 360 was awarded Watch of the Year 2006 by the international press and has inspired other makers to break the rules and how watch movement should be constructed. This is probably the highest foremost watchmaking automotive collaboration at the time, available at the time. So if I just scroll through some of these pictures,
It is gorgeous. I know it's not everyone's taste, but the off-axis viewing is really nice. Like the 1921 we were chatting about, that whole idea that you don't have to really flex your wrist to see it, and having a hand on the steering wheel, being able to look down, it's right there and it's quite discreet. It's the whole it's the oval form that I really dig. That it feels organic, as it should for a car of that kind. Oval with long.
And it actually out MBNF because it's released before MBNF was founded, like by a year or two.
It's not that exciting of a case internally. Oh, that's quite nice.
Yeah, but then on the other hand, the Star Wheel was out way before Uhrwerk, and there was a prototype by Patek Philippe, which was called the Cobra, which was then later adopted by Uhrwerk. So everything has been there. Interesting.
Looks pretty nice. I like that flow of A to B. It feels purposeful.
Flick through some more pics, Thomas. Let's have a look at this thing.
And it's the oval case I really like. It gives you, there we go. I mean, that looks good, man.
Nice.
It's pretty crazy.
Really nice.
It's pretty crazy. Yeah.
Nice.
Far out. This is a Parmigiani. Wow.
Yeah.
A nice touch of elegance to a very... I mean, it looks... You see this today and you think, ooh, work immediately, right? It feels like that's their wheelhouse today.
Came out in 2005, this one. So.
Very neat. And you can rest it on a table, easy to tell the time. Yeah, pretty cool. Feels like something out of the 30s. And I guess they looked at a car like the original Atlantique.
Yeah, Atlantique. Yeah.
Love it. Streamlined. Ooh, and then you can obviously wear the watch the other way around if you like. If you want to just check out the tourbillon or the movement at the back. I don't think it is a tourbillon. Neat.
Yeah, so you don't think you'll be able to read this, do you, Jonathan?
I have my doubts. You always have to angle your wrist when you want to read that.
Looks like a fool out in the open. Everyone's looking at you.
Exactly.
Like,
What time it is?
Time.
Just a second.
You know, people are getting punished when they touch their smartphones. So
yeah, right.
If you read the time on that.
Nice. Pretty neat. Nice little artwork. Beats a Richard Mille. I mean, hell, let's just get that out of the way.
Yeah.
But from that view, there is a protruding button that looks really uncomfortable on the wrist.
a round head screw in your wrist as you wear it.
Yeah.
Imagine that. What is going on?
Just keeps you on your toes, you know. That's
little scratch telling you that it's there.
Just telling you it's there. Yeah.
And it's not stainless steel. Let's remember, it's just plain steel. So it rusts over time. Then you get like an infection on your wrist. You know, the budget really had to be cut. That last final minute, they're like, we don't have any more flathead screws. Shit, let's go to the hardware store quick. Yeah.
Okay, we'll move on to Parmigiani.
Phillips screw. Can you imagine? And it's all chewed up after being opened up once or twice, and it scratches you every time. Oh, yeah.
Now, this next one I really like.
Okay.
Beauvais and Rolls-Royce.
Yeah.
Now we're getting
nice.
deep into it.
This His and Hers bespoke watches. These His and Hers bespoke watches were developed over a 3-year period with Rolls-Royce for a bespoke model called the Boat Tail. The Rolls-Royce Boat Tail.
That's important, very important car.
Which I'll just show you. That's
Very
Made by a boat builder, hey?
Yeah, you can have your picnic on that on the back.
Nice.
The watches can be mounted on the dashboard of the car, as well as being able to be worn on the wrist and being used in table clocks or pendants. The Amadeo style case. The case is unique to this collaboration and is 44 millimeters and 14 millimeters thick and made of 18 karat white gold. There's the car again. The men's version has a fully polished finish, whilst the women's version is completely engraved by hand and filled with blue lacquer to achieve a floral motif. Each watch is double-sided too, and they have off-centered hours and minutes and dials, with both sides powered by a single movement on the front. There's a wood marquetry and a dial styled to resemble the iconic Rolls-Royce vertical grille. The dials also incorporates a fuel gauge style power reserve. And the lower half of the movement, the 1 minute tourbillon, has a hand-carved engraved 18 karat gold Spirit of Ecstasy emblem covering it. And the reverse sides are different for each watch, with either an aventurine dial with a sky chart or the hand-painted floral bouquet of mother of pearl on the female version. A miniaturized hand-painted Rolls-Royce car is positioned on the lower half of the dial, and the bespoke mounting system was developed to install watch into the car as a dashboard clock. The movement is a newly developed 1 minute tourbillon, and which is hand wound, runs at 3 Hertz, and has a 5-day power reserve, and it powers both dials with inverted gearing for the secondary dial. As a finishing touch, the bridge over the tourbillon will be engraved with the names of the owners. And there's no price for this watch at present. Whether you need the car, I don't know. This is
If you need to ask, you can't afford it.
Yeah, exactly. So this
Can I be controversial?
Yep.
I think it's a missed opportunity, this watch. It's beautiful. The case is beautiful, but we'll get into the details in a sec. But
yeah. This is a female version, as you can see, it's been engraved, and that's the male version, the polished version.
Actually, I'm surprised that the heads of Rolls-Royce really okayed this.
Exactly, and I think we're on the same track with why.
And that's the backside of the men's version, the double side, and this is the double side of the women's version with the floral motif.
Oh, Beauvais, come on! This feels like, to me, the brief landed on the table, and they were like, "You're making a watch for a Rolls-Royce, cool." And then 5-minute sketch. Here we go.
Yeah.
Got the grill, got the Spirit of Ecstasy. It's for a Rolls-Royce. Done. I mean, really?
Why
it's
did they?
So cliche, man.
I don't like the Spirit of Ecstasy on there. That's my issue.
Yeah, it is so super flat.
Flat,
that really annoys me.
It looks like they got a cheap sterling silver cast they just made, very flat and simple, not too much detail. But it's that grill on the top. It's just like, yes, we know it's a Rolls Royce, obvious. I mean, it's just too much. It doesn't need to be so on the nose for a car like that.
It's also it also doesn't make sense because the Spirit of Ecstasy usually is on the top of the grill and not below.
Exactly, not underneath.
So that doesn't make sense. Thomas, can you pull up that image that I have in the background, because not sure if you guys know. Corum
that's the one. That's a gorgeous one. Yeah.
Corum made a Rolls-Royce watch back in the 1980s.
What the hell?
That's so cool.
I think that is super cool. Just have a look at the Spirit of Ecstasy. That is dimensional there, and it's protected, so that is not being damaged. I find that watch super.
Does the grill open and close? Is it one of those revealing grills?
No. That was Vacheron, the jalousie.
Beautiful.
That doesn't open and close.
Yeah.
That is just the way it is.
Oh, it's
That's
nice.
amazing.
That's the way to do it. I mean,
Thomas, I
you wanna
knew
be-
that you didn't have that watch on your
That's
calculation.
amazing. Wow.
If you really want to make a tribute, make it a bit more distinct and distinguished. I mean, that is encapsulating the grill and where the spirit goes. I think Beauvais really had, after seeing this watch, they're kind of like, what the hell could we do to top something like this?
Mhm.
And they end up just sort of half-arsing it. This is a lot more faithful.
Yeah, I'm giving you some views. Actually, it gives you a kind of three-dimensional effect on the grill. So from the side, it's more or less close, but it's not a jalousie function as far as I know.
Yeah, this looks like it has the spirit of the car. The other one feels like they had the mood board and then they forgot about the meeting, and then they were like, "Oh, let's put everything in the mood board on one watch."
Snap it together, boys. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Have a look
on
from the
weekend.
sides. From there, you can't see the time. Now, I know that the purpose of a watch is to display the time, but they put some effort even in those louvers of the grill.
And yes, you could say it does look kitsch and cliche too, but I think filling in that genre, this is very much the point. It fits in with that timeline too. If you think of Rolls and the subtlety of it all, it's very nice.
Have a look at how three-dimensional that spirit of.
Yeah, it goes all the way through the back. That's awesome. Yeah, the Decorum, it's a missed. Not Decorum, sorry. The Beauvais, it's a missed opportunity. We know Beauvais for their beautiful enamel work on their dials, the diamond setting, the finishing. They keep it. They could have made it so simple as a dash clock, and just, I mean, all you need is Beauvais with a small touch to Rolls-Royce on the dial. It doesn't need to be so obvious. I feel like they just went way over the. I don't know what.
I think they were concentrating on it being a dashboard clock as well. You know.
But I mean, then the same thing though. I mean, there's some beautiful dashboard clocks that they're supposed to be legible first and foremost. And I don't feel like a grill stuck on the front of that kind of dash display. If I don't know if they give you an example of the clock in situ on the dial, on the leather and wood.
Yeah, they did. Just on the top, the just have a look again.
Oh, that spirit of ecstasy thing. I mean, it looks like it came from China or something.
Yeah, exactly.
I was just gonna say it looks like a fake one.
That's in the dashboard. That's in the dashboard.
I mean, all those collaborations have to be presented to the CEO of Rolls-Royce. I don't know why they found it okay to.
I don't know, man. Could just be a simple, beautiful white dial. Beauvais, boat tail, power reserve at the top's fine. I don't know. I haven't even read the time on that thing.
Like if you use the same texture as
oh, they did. You're right. I think they probably use the same wood that's on the back of the car. Oh god, it's just too much, man. It's like, why?
Missed opportunity.
It just gets to a point when you have to roll your eyes today when a brand says, we've used this metal from this ship and we've used this piece of titanium from this exact plane. And it's like, we don't care, man. It has to be good. It has to be really nice.
Yeah.
It can be an added bonus, but that shouldn't be the whole brief of the item.
Yeah. Zero West are big at that, aren't they? Doing and so the next brand that I'm going to bring up, I'm afraid.
Bremont with that piece of cloth from that ride flyer in the rotor. That was
right.
Yeah,
and the brass, and they still do it to this day. They it's just. I mean, I've been there. I've been to the factory. I've met the guys. It's just they try too hard, man.
Yeah,
they hard sell too much.
Okay.
$6,000.
And that's in the sale. That's $8,500 it was.
Oh. JCB is checked out completely, man. He's given up.
No, go on, Thomas. Go on. What do we got here? What the hell
I'll
are we got?
rush through these. This is a Bremont
E-type.
Jaguar one. For the
JCB
Jaguar
needs a seatbelt on his seat.
yeah, I'll just go through some.
Chat about it. Let's talk about it. I don't mind. Let's bash a little bit. Because, I mean, the E-type Jaguar.
This is a Bremont E-type 60th anniversary.
13K. Oh, okay.
I want
13K.
And Thomas, I think a good one. Oh, sorry to disrupt, Thomas. Another good one to pull up is the new F1 that they did with Williams. I was there at the launch day, and we can chat about it. That could be quite fun after this, if you like.
JCB can pull that up while we're talking.
Yeah, I'll pull it up. What is it?
It's the Williams F1. Yeah.
Williams F1. Okay.
Yeah, I feel if you're buying a Bremont with a Jaguar cooperation, you're overpaying, right? Because if you're a Jaguar owner, you're overpaying anyways for what you're getting.
6,000.
That's the wrong one. The irony is that they actually make beautiful dash clocks for cars. I've seen some of them. They've put them in. I think they actually put dash clocks in Jaguars originally. That was their push. They've done for the Rolls-Royce land speed record that they were doing as a land speed car. They put these gorgeous dash clocks inside them. I don't know how they missed the boat with regards to a commercial watch like this. Oh, but we got to check out the Williams F1, and we can. There it is. Forget the one at the back. Let's just talk. I mean, this is the special edition that they did. First off, yes, it does have knurling on the bezel, and yes, you can rotate the tachymeter bezel, which makes
super cool. Yeah. I always wanted to do that.
It makes less than 0 cents. It does. I mean, I had it in hand, and I'm like, why does it do this? What's the point? And that's like a selling point, having the rotate. That's this I don't know
this
what.
One? You want to
this
look
is
at
the
this?
companion piece, yeah. So that limited edition box set that they did with the full black model comes with one of these too. No idea why.
Oh, so this is just the.
We need to try find the one in steel, in steel without the black coating.
No, it's steel without the black.
Yeah.
No,
but seriously, that watch
is all
looks
they're
like a
giving me.
cheap
I was
Tissot
there.
watch.
That was me there that day.
Right? Yeah.
That's you driving.
No, I was standing behind these guys. But jokes aside, I was 3 seconds off. I was top of the leaderboard, 3 seconds off at Silverstone with the two guys next to me.
Really?
Albon and
Nice.
Latifi, who he lasted long.
Can you put the watch up that I
robots.
have in the background, because this is not an official car collaboration, but I think we have to talk about that, and I wanted to have the input of the panel on this watch.
Okay.
So who is old enough to immediately recognize the shape?
Oh, it looks
that
like a Lamborghini.
Miura.
It's Miura.
Miura. Okay.
That is the
Miura.
tail of a Lamborghini Miura with the lowers. By the way, that was the first production car that had those lowers here.
The Miura was. It's such
This
an
is
amazing story.
a HMO5.
Yes, exactly.
Cool, man. Very
Yes.
nice.
And those lowers open when you operate that little lever here, and it lets light in so that you can easier read the time here.
That's
That
nice.
is
So
sick watch, man.
Yeah.
Love it.
And
So
that's
good.
correct me if I'm wrong, but that's how the dash would display on the Miura. I mean, the typeface looks exact.
I'm not sure, because it had traditional Jaeger instruments, but it gives the 1970s vibe.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd love to see it in that original Miura green too. I don't know if they did that. Maybe that's a bit too much for them, with regards to being a bit too out there and ostentatious. But yeah, it's cool.
Here you can
Nice
see the
to
window for the light.
This watch is
Is
unreal,
that
man.
power reserve gauge at the back?
Didn't Gerard Perregaux make a watch?
Yes, they
sort of
did.
like
Yeah.
I
Similar,
think it's
similar
only
dash
an
clock
aperture.
vibe.
Yeah, maybe. I'm gonna look it up now.
I know they did.
It's pretty cool.
Basically, I'm almost certain they did, and it's more squared off. It doesn't taper at the back like this does, which looks far better. It looks great.
It's quartz as well.
Really?
Yeah.
And the rally strap just fits perfectly. The rubber strap, it fits so nicely too. I mean, it's simple.
I so love it. And Max Büsser is a tech design guy.
Yeah, I mean, he and I, he's right up that alley with regards to industrial design and just knowing space age tech and infusing that with watchmaking. It's awesome.
That looks awesome, this one.
Yeah. It's amazing.
So
amazing
this is not
collaboration.
an official collaboration, but I think it's so inspired by that Miura that we had to
100%.
The Miura story
this was
is so good.
This was a collaboration, then it was done right, like this he captured the spirit of the car.
Yes.
Yes. And that's what a real design house does. It doesn't need to be on. It doesn't need to be in your face, or like that Beauvais dial. Oh,
and it also shows deep respect for what they're creating after, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, it's superb. It's really, really neat. And if we bounce back to the F1 collaboration Daytona graph with the turning tachymeter bezel.
Yeah. Pull that Bremont up, please, again, Thomas.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to know. It's hard to know how they do it. It's a pretty cool looking chronograph compared to what else the brand has made in the past, all things considered. The color usage is nice. But
which one's that?
It's that Williams F1. If you can find one with the steel case, that would be cool. I think it has like a blue strap, a blue Alcantara strap or something. Yeah. But again, it's something like 15 mils thick, and it's an ETA. I'm sure it's a stacked ETA caliber.
Who the fuck's this guy have?
Hold on.
That's the one in steel?
That's the one, yeah. So I mean, I kind of like that the contrasting subdials. A little bit too much going on, but I like the whole idea of two being solid, one being open. But then it's isn't it funny to say that it just looks uninspired?
It looks like a tag.
Yeah, it's fucking generic, really.
Hey?
Yeah.
How do you manage to get that? Oh man. I mean, that was the reaction when it was unveiled. Hey, with the Williams team there in the room, we all stand around and drum roll and the music and the
everyone's just like, really?
And the TV screens.
This is what you came out with?
You got the cars driving, you got the pit stops, and it's like timing and it's flashing and everyone's just like quiet. And then the two guys are like, and there we go. Here we are.
So bad, really. That's so bad.
It's sad because I mean, I do like the colors. I like the little touch of light blue and the white and the 70s look on the seconds hands there. I mean the chronograph registers. It's not a chronometer. You shouldn't be allowed to put chronometer on your dial unless it's chronometer certified. I think that's how the Swiss do it, at least.
Yeah.
It's not a chronometer, and it says chronometer on the dial?
Yep.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, they've always, chronometer underneath, yep.
Let's say Bremont are not the most honest brand anyway, so...
the Bremont guys, I have the feeling that they deliberately do that kind of shit, just to annoy me. Because they started with that in-house movement that they made a big fuss about, and now they say 80% of the weight is made in-house, which means we're doing 5 bridges. And then this in-house movement with that Wright flyer that they claim to be
that was
their
a
own
disaster.
movement.
Yeah, that was the nail in the coffin. That was years ago. Yeah,
and now they have a chronometer which is not chronometer certified. I mean, it seems that they really want to do that shit. What
I must commend is the going into their. I know it's so cliche to say, but going into their factory and their workroom. It's superb. Like, it's top of the line when it comes to the machining. I mean, they literally walk you through the process. They give you the blanks as they come out, machines, and it's great on that front. They even machine parts for the Williams team because they work under like 3 microns of tolerance. They can machine parts.
Really?
For one part.
They machine parts for the car.
Yeah. So in collaboration
wow,
with them, which is
okay.
quite a nice relationship, they machine the tiny bits and pieces that go in. But the movement itself, I think it's an ETA-based caliber they're using here. It's obviously stacked because it's 15 mils plus thick. And that the ENG 300 that it's what's the brand? Norcan, is that the maker?
Norcan.
That's now they basically bought they own a percentage of it, which allows them to basically make their movements in-house.
Okay, just straight up question: is Bremont a legit brand or not?
I would say yes. I would say they are. I would say they are, but not in the way we view the millions of other makers like Zin. I guess the way they do talk. I mean, I chatted to one of the guys, the more technical guy, and he was saying the industry itself at large won't tell you how much they outsource with regards to case manufacturing and all these other little bits and pieces. I guess that's true to an extent. We don't know about the percentages of outsourcing for cases and finishing and jewels and the sourcing of gears and bits and pieces. So they feel very proud in a sense that they're making all of their cases in-house directly, and now they're doing all the base plates and bridges in-house, or the majority of them. And I think, when it comes to persistence, they've been persistent enough to call themselves their own brand at this stage. But in the wider watch circles, they still... I was there on the day with James Dowling, and even he was impressed.
The Rolex.
That says a lot.
Really?
Yeah. I personally can only put that to British humor. So,
Right.
I mean, they make their own cases. If one of the tech guys says, you should know the degree of other watch brands that they outsource, that's
not a good sign, hey?
They're even worse.
Yeah, it's not a good way of putting down another manufacturer to boost your own.
Everybody's speeding. Everybody's speeding. So
it's
like
it's never a good way
everybody
to
doesn't
promote
finish
yourself.
their movements.
So it's an interesting one. It looks a hell of a lot better than that Jaguar one. I don't know what they were doing there, but again, they make some cool dash clocks, really good looking ones. But that's about it, man.
There's JP.
Good description.
That's good.
Okay,
That's good. That sums it up.
That sums it up. That sums it up. Okay.
I mean, they walk
Thanks,
you through the showroom, and
question.
a lot of what they share are Smith's pieces, and they talk a lot about how Smiths went out of business, and how they want to be that next step. Just simple things. They could have called themselves English because the surname is English, right? The two brothers.
Yeah, Charles English. And,
why can't you just call the brand English? I know there's probably a trademark or something around
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
They could
yeah.
have
I
worked
think
around
you're
it.
getting in trouble. Yeah.
But imagine just English. It's a easy, simple, that sort of, I don't know. And just the origin story is also very scratchy. I mean, come on.
Don't get me started.
They crash landed.
Yeah, crash
It's not
landing.
Squale. I put them in the Squale bucket.
Mr.
Bremont and Squale. They're the same fucking
No, the
thing.
Squale has a
Okay,
history.
okay,
We make
we'll
fun of
go.
Squale,
We'll
but
go.
they make Paca Italian dive watches back in the day too. So it's like,
Okay, well, Squale is
you
better
can't
than...
put them in the Squale bucket.
Okay. They're below
Guys,
Squale.
I have to
They're below
apologize.
Squale. Oh,
I have to apologize myself. I have to go. It was very nice talking to you.
Thanks
You
for
have a
joining
good-
us, Jonathan. Have you got a show tonight? Are you doing a show tonight?
I don't know. I'm waiting for a Swiss reply, so I can't tell you at the moment.
Okay.
That's
Great
how
to
it
have
is.
you. Thanks a lot.
Okay.
Good to
Bye-bye,
see you.
guys. See you
Always.
next time.
Have a great
Great
day.
chatting. Thanks, Jonathan.
Bye-bye.
See you, buddy.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. So Bremont. We said properly Bremont. Is Bremont. That's how they'll Bremont. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh,
That's how it's. Oh.
So an
We'll go
English
from
brand
on-
with French pronunciation, right?
We'll get off Bremont onto a brand that JPB likes. And
What do we got?
I don't know why. If you can't afford a Rolls Royce, you get a Bentley. You get the Breitling Bentley, £7,150. This Premier collection debuted in 1940s, and is now an iconic range of the brand. And this model is a British racing green dial with a new leather strap and 42mm case. The dial features date window at 60 o'clock, as well as 2 chronograph sub-dials, silvered hands and batons markers, as well as a tachymeter scale, and is water resistant to 100 meters. And the B01 self-winding caliber has 70 hours power reserve. Do you like this one, JCB?
I do, yeah. I do like this one. I've always liked the Premier collection because it's very, it's my style of watch. It's very chilled. It's not too out there. It's just a very, it's a nice chronograph. It's just a nice looking watch. You can wear this, with a suit. You could probably wear it with jeans and a t-shirt. It's versatile. It's got a modified B01 caliber, so it's got a good movement. It's a cool watch, man. It doesn't get enough love. I think the Premier line in this Bicompax. Look at that Bicompax layout. It's just killer piece, man.
It's nice and balanced. I think the main critique is always the thickness. Everyone critiques the thickness of these.
Do they? What's the thickness? I don't even know. What's it about? 14 or something? Maybe.
Probably.
Maybe that's why. Okay. I thought this was it doesn't look too bad.
Doesn't look that bad.
Doesn't look that bad, yeah.
Yeah, no, I think the Premier line just didn't take off for Breitling. I don't know why.
Unintended.
Yeah. I don't think they really they didn't market it well enough. They didn't push it well enough. The Premier line. And it's sort of fallen by the wayside. Like no one really.
We've shared photos amongst ourselves between the 30s and the 40s. The Premier was just beautiful, man.
Man, the Premier was back in the day was the bee's knees. Really groundbreaking, beautiful design. Just unreal. Yeah, totally. But yeah, like this watch. Really cool watch. Just the Premier line in general, I've always really liked, but that just has never been really popular. Compared to Thomas, Thomas, I'll just share my screen really quickly, if you can. So this is the Breitling for Bentley line that they used to have. Okay.
These were so popular at one stage. Everyone was
beautiful. I've seen it. I like it actually.
Yeah.
This is for Y2K. This is really.
I've seen this one. I was like 80 to 90% almost contemplating to get it already.
There you go.
These are
I think it's
wild.
about 47 mil, something like that. Yeah. So this was Breitling collaborated with Bentley. I'm gonna say sort of mid 2000s or something, maybe around. No, it would have been 2010s, sort of 2015s, that sort of time period. So that was a really big collaboration, but just never went anywhere. And then they had this, and then going back to the one that you had, Thomas. I'll just turn that off. And then the one that you had there, then they killed that line, for obvious reasons, and then they brought back the Premier Bentley, and I like that Premier Bentley. It's a pretty cool piece.
Nice. Yeah, well, going on to more Breitlings, did the B01 top times. These for the cars of the 50s, 60s, and 70s. It's the top time released in the 1960s and has become another well-known Breitling range, being recently revived, and they currently have 4 car top times: the top time B0 on Ford Thunderbird, the top time B0 on Ford Mustang, the top time B0 on Chevrolet Corvette, and the Shelby Cobra. So we got to the Ford Thunderbird. I'm not just a bit.
I like the subtlety of it, but I don't know about the red on the right there too much.
ID, from a design point of view, how do you feel about the shape of the sub dials? So you've got like this TV The
I kinda
TV
dig them.
shapes up inside a round case. Does that work for you?
I kind of dig them, yeah, because they're subtle enough that they don't
Okay.
draw your eye too much, but they also give you that feel of that 60s, late 60s transition time, and they do in a way call to those dial clocks of the time too. It's nice. I mean on the black variants I might feel differently, but I do like that the white subdials are subtle enough that it's not too in your face.
Yeah,
I just don't know
it's not
about the
face.
colors, man. All those like funky colors on the sub. Oh,
Well,
Yeah.
that's for Thunderbird. This
The
is a
Mustang's
Ford-
cool. Yeah, I like the Mustang one, the green. That's pretty cool.
JCB,
it's
Yes.
the what colors?
quick question to share with you. Do you know about the Breitling, the Torah?
Yes, I do
Hang on.
know the Breitling.
I have it
Torah.
on my screen. Breitling, the Torah Racing Dashboard Dial. It's quite a bit back in the day. Yeah.
Racing dashboard. No, I don't
So
know about that
it's-
one. Do you want
yeah,
can
it's
you
called-
bring it up or?
I'll just go
bring it up.
through these
But
first.
yeah, let Thomas go through these and then we'll bring it up after.
Go ahead.
So I got the Ford Mustang.
Yeah.
I don't know what you think of this one.
Yeah, I'm not much of a fan of it. I'm sorry to say, but if we're talking about the Bullet Mustang, yeah,
Yeah, that's why I like it because it reminds you. It's
Steve
like the Bullet
McQueen.
Mustang. You think of the
Yeah.
Bullet, you know.
fastback.
That's such a cool fucking car, man.
Oh, it's so
Like,
good, and the
It's
fact
one
there's
of
no
the
livery
best
on
cars,
it. Yeah, it's a dream.
That's the
I
top
prefer
time
the Chev.
Chevrolet Corvette
I'll go with the red.
dials.
I love the Corvette flags there. That's nice. It's nice balance.
I hate to say it, but the problem with these watches is just the thickness. They're really
Really?
thick.
Mm.
Yeah.
They're also
yeah.
very kitsch. Let's be real. They're also very kitschy watches. All things to do.
Yeah. I just don't like.
Too many colors.
Yeah.
I don't know who's buying these watches. I've never seen them like in the wild or even on social media, like in the groups that I'm in. Like no one's ever buying these watches. I've never seen them.
I mean, if
anywhere.
I had a Shelby, I would probably get one of these for shits
Yeah,
and giggles.
I was just
Have
gonna say-
that in the glove box.
Exactly. Yeah.
That-
Cool.
That's pretty
That looks
cool,
nice.
actually. The Shelby.
That looks nice. Yeah.
Love the little Cobra. I mean, that must have been so expensive to get that Cobra property on your dial. I can't imagine how much that must have cost
Mm-hmm.
to get those rights.
Really?
Mm.
And I feel with the
Okay.
two subdials, it's more like gives you a little
Feels
bit
right.
of yeah.
Yeah, I was just gonna
You're
say
right.
this is the out of all of those ones, this is the only bi-compacts. All the other ones
Oh,
are
you're right.
tri-compacts.
And
Yeah.
and under the, I mean, that beautiful Breitling script and top time underneath, it's neat. You know, it
Mhm.
doesn't feel cliche.
Yeah.
That's quite nice. I've
Hi,
always loved
Mark.
Shelby
Yeah.
Cobra.
Hey.
My friend. Good to
Hey,
see you,
How's it,
Mark.
Mark? Without 5 minute coffee break. Don't worry.
You'll catch up later.
Don't
Great
worry.
to see you, my friend. Take care.
See, buddy. What's the on all of these watches? They've got that red section in the tachometer.
Don't know, man.
I don't know what that's
Oh,
about.
wait, I do. Hold on. It has to do with
Yeah.
probably redlining as you're reaching the end of the speedo. You know, you're redlining. I'd imagine that's. But it's going in the wrong direction. It should be
Wrong
orange
direction,
first,
yeah.
then red.
The other way.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
shouldn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Weird.
Did
Doesn't
you want to share something, Y2K? Did you want to share something?
No, but I did have something, but I put in the link already in the private chats. Yeah.
Oh, it's easier
this
to
might-
share it. It's
yeah.
easier to share it, to be honest.
Hang on, let me.
Hang on.
Okay.
It's called the Breitling the Torah dashboard. It's along the lines of what JCB is sharing. So I kind of found that this was some racing piece that you guys might be interested in, but it's a bit dated though. Yeah.
We like our dated stuff sometimes. It's
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah, I've got.
I'm a
I've
bit
got it.
eccentric
I've got
that
it,
way.
Thomas, I've got it on my screen, Thomas. If you want to share it, yeah, this one
Oh,
here.
love
Wow.
it.
Oh, awesome. man.
Bingo.
Yes. That's
How do you
pretty
like
cool.
it, gents? How do you like
That's
it?
nice.
That's
Love
That's
vibe.
nice.
Like it. That's cool, man. That's top
Yeah.
time territory right there.
Yeah, 100%.
Dig it.
I really
Yeah, man, you want to go 70s? Why not go full 70s? What the hell?
Mhm.
It's good enough.
But it's not. It's not really a like a collab, if you like. But it's sort of like taking racing cues from
to the next level.
from race cars, right?
Yeah.
Like it's not like a particular brand collab, but it's got it's got like a full racing style.
Yeah,
I mean, I
that
dig
looks
these.
like
I mean,
a
to me-
dashboard, right?
Yeah.
For me, in car inspired watches, this is like as cool as it gets. I wish we could talk about more of these. The car collaborations are nice, but this sort of stuff where it's
Hi, Mick.
hey Mick, it's one of those really cool. Yeah.
It fucking looks like a dashboard, doesn't it? It looks
That's
like
like-
you're
Yeah,
looking
it looks like a
straight
dashboard.
into
Eyes.
the
Squint your
dash.
eyes and look at it. It's like
Yeah.
right in your face. The cigarette hands. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
so of the time,
And the
man.
simplicity of it is great, actually. I mean, sometimes going simple with just the outlook of a dashboard design goes a long way.
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, Mr. Beaver and I want to do a talk just on like racing chronos. I wish we could do it like right now, because this is the only Saturday I've been able to have free because I'm not putting a video up this week. And
let's talk more racing chronos. Let's do it.
We'll do it one day, man. Don't worry.
Yeah,
But
we
what's
will.
cool, we should actually, what I might do is in the next couple of weeks,
like on Sunday or something, whenever you're free.
go in. There's all I have to do is bring up Watch Fred's Instagram page, and we can talk about all of the
Everything.
vintage Breitlings. Vintage Breitling is a whole rabbit.
The world in itself, yeah.
It's fucking amazing. Like they have got such cool watches.
And I would say the exact thing about vintage
amazing.
Longines chronograph from that same time period, out of this world. Some of those beautiful watches ever made. Not talked about.
There's a couple of shows right there. You know, Longines and Breitling. Looking at those pieces, there's so much in the back catalogs.
Yeah.
Some cool stuff there. Definitely.
Yeah, we could literally run our own run a show on just Hoya chronographs as well. That whole backstory too.
Absolutely.
Same deal.
Yeah.
There's so much, and they're so underappreciated even today because everyone wants a coronet or a shield or an Omega symbol.
Wow.
Man, how good was that Hodinky Carrera reference points? I think I mentioned.
You know how many views it has? It has something like 20,000 views in a month.
Oh, really?
It's criminal.
Yeah,
you look at other things like the Daytona reference points. They've got over 100K.
I was gonna say it should be more than that.
20 to 30,000 views on the Carrera reference.
Oh, really?
I've watched it like 4 times. It's just so good, man.
It's so good. Oh, I know.
You just can't. There's too much to cover. It's just amazing. It's so fantastic. Oh, and the history. Just, Carrera, the whole backstory. I didn't realize it was a race and everything that it involved.
Yeah, Pan American race.
Yeah.
And Jack Hoyer jumped on it, and just the history of that development. Panda dials, simplicity, the date at the 12, man. That is the way. That is so cool.
Yeah.
Anyway,
That's what when the glass box Carrera came out this year. I was like, man, this is one of the coolest watches. Like, this is one of the releases. This is the shit. It was such a nice watch.
Anniversary of the Carrera this year.
Beautiful. Yeah. The anniversary watch, I mean, it's cool, but it looks like any other anniversary watch that they make, you know? This one, with just the simple stuff, the doming of the tack and I love that frame date window at the top, at the 12.
Yeah, the top at 12, it's good.
It's so good.
What do you got next, Thomas?
We got a bit of this one's that you're not gonna like. It's a really gaudy one. We're gonna go Lamborghini collaboration.
Oh,
with
what do we got?
Roger Dubuis. Starting with his Spider Hurricane range, in titanium carbon, going through to the Spider Aventador carbon, which is the most expensive. I'll bring up the Hurricane range.
Oh, do you have to?
That's really
my God.
That's a Miami watch, right?
And it's 45 millimeters as well. Like, it's like huge too. Like, it's not just a small
Oh man.
fugly thing. It's a big fugly fucker.
What are you doing?
Before you say this is my watch, I like Roger Dubuis Excalibur series, but I like the one that's the classic look, the one with the gold
The
bezel.
racing
Yeah.
that inspired crown and hexagonal shapes inspired by Lamborghini air intakes. The camo pattern on the straps is inspired by gravel abilities of the car, and the black rubber on the straps is a feature of Pirelli Super Trifecto tire patterns. If you order one of the 5 early editions of the watches online, you can receive a free Jota Designs racing helmet, which has been painted in a design that mirrors the timepieces. So these are just horrible.
Yeah, you definitely need a helmet.
It's got 28 pieces. It's a boutique exclusive. So, you know,
I mean, this
Yeah.
is the most
not all
expensive.
bad.
This
And,
one,
and you get the helmet,
206
so nobody knows that you're wearing it, right?
You get a Jota. You can't see me wearing it.
You don't see the face.
£206,000. This one.
Sorry, what?
Horrible.
Sorry.
This is
No, 200. 206.
206. Oh my god.
For the next hour, Mr. Beaver and I could go and talk about some of the coolest racing chronos ever. Car collaborations. This is just this. What?
Oh man, Roger Dubuis, I used to love you.
What
don't
the-
anymore.
Check out the green one, the Huracan Evo 3, whatever. I do like the intakes on the front there, though. That's quite nice. It's pretty neat. But the colors, man, and the oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Boutique exclusive. Only 28 pieces. Get them while they're hot, people.
Are you reading from the catalog, IDGuy?
Yeah, there's a corner there. Yeah, there's a full breakdown. I like the green. That's pretty nice. That's a good color green. That's about as much as I can say.
Looks like baby poo. Baby poo green. Have you said that
Fresh
before?
baby poo. Yeah.
Yeah.
Range Rover Defender Green.
Yeah,
Right.
we'll quickly move on then.
Yeah, I
to,
think we should move on
Yeah.
to us. We should move on.
Yikes.
Yeah,
Move
got a
on
little bit
to-
acid reflux from that watch, to be honest.
Yeah.
JCB, this is the time you get another drink.
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
I know.
I wish I could pour some of that for me, please.
This
In my
bottle
water
has
glass.
been going quickly.
Please.
Yeah.
Shiva, I can't
Okay.
drink. It's 10 to 2. I
Yeah,
can't do that.
it's lunchtime for you guys. Yeah,
Yeah,
This is
it's
a
man.
nighttime for us.
chronograph I really like this one. This is
Oh.
£8,600.
AMG?
Yeah, the IWC AMG edition.
Yeah.
IWC and Mercedes AMG have been partners since 2004, and with his first pilot's watch chronograph in titanium,
Cheers,
Mercedes-Benz
YCK.
now holds a permanent place in IWC's Patek watch collection. The AMG edition is crafted from materials, mainly grade 5 titanium in the case, crown and pushers, to help bring the style of motorsports to the wrist, they say. The dial features the same black carbon fiber used for racing chassis parts, and the black dial contrasts with the silver-plated chronograph sub-registers. The raw black carbon fibers on the dial are processed on weaving machines into textile structures, giving a characteristic woven carbon look. The chronograph is powered by IWC's caliber 69385 automatic column wheel movement with day and date, and the AMG logo is etched on the sapphire case back. And the watch was introduced in 2021. It's 43 millimeters, so it fits Y2K. 15 millimeters thick and 60 meters water resistant.
15.
And
Oh.
How many 16 mils thick?
No, 15.
15 mil thick.
It's just scraped by our
Oh,
threshold.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
the 43 with the thickness is just
Oh,
too thick.
I'm gonna.
Six
I
ball.
know this is probably not the popular opinion, but this dial configuration I've come to terms with, and I realize that I really don't like it on this watch.
Fucking hate it. Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Me too.
I want to
fucking
see
hate it.
this configuration on the Porsche design all DLC black or titanium. It looks freaking awesome. But on this pilot
Yeah, it
watch,
looks fucking shit.
That's how the 27750 look. You don't like that?
Nah, you got to be 369, not 6912.
Yeah.
it doesn't look.
Yeah.
I mean, on the Porsche design chronos, they look freaking awesome. It just works with the theme, with that integrated case and the DLC coating and all of that. But this with the Flieger hands at the subdials and the typeface, it just looks. I don't know, man.
It's off, IDGuy?
Sorry, I didn't hear you guys. Okay.
Like it's off?
Yeah,
you feel
man.
that it's off?
Yeah, it just doesn't gel like it should. The
The
date on
one
the right.
thing I couldn't deal with is there's a textured material on the watch face, yes?
The
Because
carbon.
I think I've
The
been
carbon
so
fiber,
used to
yeah.
seeing IWC as very plain. So in my realm of lovely IWC, I only and I only can embrace the big pilot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
pilot
feel this
watch
one-
again should be legible. That's another small detail.
Yeah. Maybe the 6 and 9, if they had only 6 and 9 and the IWC Schaffhausen on the left side just printed and then date on the right side, you'd have like a little bit of balance,
Something.
especially with so big.
But this, when you squint your eyes, it just looks too much. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
hard to explain.
Yeah.
Back to the drawing board. That's how I feel, but that's just me. I know it's a very loved. I mean, everyone seems to dig these IWC chronos. I just can't get behind them much.
Really?
What about the AMG Patronus IWC, Thomas?
Don't
That was
you
the
bring
one with
that
the
up?
green.
Yeah.
Have you got that one?
With a ceramic
No,
case. I didn't have a green ceramic.
No.
No.
It's steel, but it's got like this green, like this light green sort of colorway.
Okay.
You want me to show you screen?
Yeah. Show my screen. Yeah. I'll get it. This is the
man,
one
that's
here.
better. Weird to
that's
say,
nice.
huh? But that looks better.
Yeah.
So there was this is the Patronus F1 AMG
Monochrome article in the middle
collab.
there. In the middle of the screen, that monochrome was sitting there live on the table. That looks cool. One across to the right.
Yeah, that's one.
Boom.
Yeah.
That looks great, man.
Yeah, that's
So-
really nice.
Yeah, I think this is the one. If you're gonna go for the IWC collab,
Yeah,
this
same
is the
green,
one
yeah.
that you want. This is the one you want to go for. Yeah, this is the
And
cool
it's
one.
because it has that complexity with the subdials, but it's not in your face. There's good
Yeah,
line weight. I think a Flieger should be defined by line weight and how much emphasis is put on the hands and on the type and on the subdials and the hash marks. This looks clean, even though it's really busy. You can read it. It looks great. That's neat.
I
Yeah, the
think
contrast makes it so much better
Yeah,
somehow.
man. Yeah.
when you've
much
got
better.
the 6.912 set up here, like when you don't have those sort of panda subdials,
It looks so much nicer.
it looks so much better,
Integrated.
doesn't it? Yeah,
Integrated.
like
That really looks good. Like I would totally wear that piece. It looks awesome.
And it's 41, right? So it's smaller.
Yeah.
I think they have the IWC date and then Schaffhausen. So that also gives it a little bit somehow a cleaner look.
Much more.
so. This is the Mercedes AMG Patronus F1 team. This came out in
Last year.
May 22.
This time last year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
So this was obviously the Patronus colors as well. Yeah,
It's really tasteful, man. I like it.
Mhm.
I like
I
it a
don't
lot.
mind this one at all. Yeah, this one's cool.
Isn't it funny how just a
Yeah.
subtle thing like color change and accent colors and simplicity changes the look
It's
completely.
exactly what Abdul's wearing today. The color is
Same
the same as
color.
Abdul's shirt.
Oh yeah,
And it
cool,
looks
man.
like it's constantly in loom.
It is.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the beauty of it. You could see it in
Mm.
all light. I think even without Luminova, I think you could tell the time pretty much all day.
Yeah.
Really neat.
Great legibility.
So, yeah, it's amazing.
41 as well is like the perfect size.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Just
Spot on.
cool piece. Sorry, Thomas, to hijack your
To hijack
presentation
your-
there. Oh,
No, it looks good. I like it.
I think IWC. I'm just trying to think what other car collabs has IWC done, and I can't
I wonder
really.
if
think of any.
are we gonna be doing JLC by the end of the show? That's what I want to know. The Amvox collection.
Yeah, before you joined us, man, we did it.
You did it?
Yeah.
Really? That's awesome.
Yeah.
Because that's freaking beautiful. Love those. The Amvox with the, what was it? Who was the collaboration with again?
Aston Martin.
Aston Martin. And you could push the glass to run the chronograph.
Yeah.
JLC, man. JLC.
Yeah.
Have we done Hoya? Have we done the Gulf oil Hoya yet?
The Monaco?
Yeah. Or the Monza. Or the
I love the Monza. Monza's such a cool watch.
DLC Monza. I can dig that. Red accents. Sick.
Just even the standard Monza, just in steel, is a cool piece, man. Cushion case.
Thank you, Mick. It's the first time in months, and it's because I'm not uploading a video today because I've been out all week hiking. And now I'm back. I've just literally come home not a few hours ago, and probably great to just hop on and chat because I haven't caught up with these guys for ages face to face. So I thought, let's just do it.
Mick in Florida is a cool guy, man. He's always
great guy.
chatting on Tim Mosso's stream. Yeah.
Watchbox.
Speaking of which, is Curtis here?
Let's post the link.
Is it on? Is it uploaded?
Our good friend Curtis Arndt has just been uploaded. His collector's conversation with Tim Mosso. I've just put the link in the chat. It's going to be a great show. That I'm sure. I haven't watched it yet, but I'm just going to watch after the stream. And he's a good punter. Curtis is in.
Yeah, I met him a few years ago, and we hung out. I met him in Brighton, and he phoned me not a day before he was going to do this interview, and he's like, "Yeah, I chatted to Tim Mosso, and he's called me to come to the office to have the interview."
Really? Wow,
that's so cool, man.
I know. Really,
taken his whole collection there, I believe, and his GMT. I mean, it's an awesome story. He almost. I'm sure he'll tell you it in the video, but he bought this 70s GMT, I think it's GMT Master original, right? Yeah. And a day later, he was about to buy a Daytona, but didn't feel the need to. He was like, nah, too much. I didn't want customs to bite me, taking it back. The one that got away, you know?
Are you fucking serious, man?
And the cool story that happened to me while I was away this week, I mentioned it to, I don't know if I told you, Thomas, but I told Mr. Beaver. Yeah. I was out hiking called the Brewer Falls. It's like a 2K walk, and I see this beautiful Newfoundland dog coming down the hill. So I stop the owner and chat about the dog for a sec, and I spot a Submariner on his wrist. Okay, I look a bit closer. It's got 2 red lines of text on the dial. Is that a double red sea dweller?
Fucking double red sea dweller.
Yeah. I've had it for about 35 years, and it looked pristine. This was just out in the wild. I mean, this is literally in the wild. Finding that watch on the wrist, that was too cool, man. Double red, flawless looking watch. Yeah, one of those beauties.
One of those guys.
And all I spotted was it was wrist down. All I spotted was the 2 red lines, and I'm going, that's a double red. Is that a double red? Yep, it is. I had a single red Submariner, and I'm saying 1680. He says, yep. I sold that. I really wish I had that one. And I said, don't get rid of this. Don't get rid of the double red. Don't do it. And he's been offered 30 grand. I don't know all the numbers. He told me the story.
Wow.
He used to dive off rigs, but I don't know the story about the watch with him exactly, but he did used to dive off rigs back in the day. He's 80 years old, and he's out there.
Really?
Young. He looked like a spring chicken, yeah. And he's rocking this double red sea dweller. I'm like, shit, that's pretty cool. Pretty freaking cool.
That's really cool.
That was a spot in the wild. Also saw a guy wearing a solid gold Yachtmaster 2, which looked a little bit much, to say the least. But no, that double red, that was cool. Really cool find. That was my part of my escapade this week. But yeah, back to curses. Going to be a cool clip. I'm looking forward to seeing, listening.
It's going to be really
Curtis is a hell of a storyteller. I mean, he'll sit and talk to you for 3 hours about one watch. He'll probably it's going to be good. So look forward to watching it.
So happy Earth Day, everyone, today, and Eid Mubarak to everyone who
Eid Mubarak, everybody.
everyone celebrating Ramadan, and yeah, great show today, everyone. Thanks for joining us, IDGuy.
Pleasure.
Thanks for joining us, Jonathan, as well, and all the usual guys in the crew. If you want to give us a thumbs up, please do. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please, invitation to subscribe. And yeah, I think that's about it, really. And
can I show one more piece? I got
a last minute.
Absolutely.
Let's do it.
So we were talking about Gerard Perregaux before, and the collaboration with Aston Martin at the moment. Now, what you guys know, and some of the punters might know, is that the very first collaboration with Ferrari was with Gerard Perregaux.
Right.
And yeah. So before all the other guys that have done, Panerai and all those guys, Gerard Perregaux was the very first collaborator with Ferrari. I think going back to maybe 2002 or something like that. Anyway, they brought out a couple of watches, but they brought out this really crazy split seconds. They brought out a Rattrapant with a Foudroyant as well. Okay, so I'm just going to show this piece, and look at this. It's full gold Gerard Perregaux. Okay, Foudroyant split seconds chronograph. One
What's
of the
thickness?
first. Okay. Look, look, it's kind of.
You're giving us the hard sell.
It's a thick watch.
I can read your poker face, man. I can read it. I know that there's something wrong with it.
Look, I don't know exactly.
Show it with JCB. Come on,
let's go. Okay, so I'm pulling up a Tim Mosso video, and once this comes up, all right, look at this thing.
Ooh,
look at this thing.
Oh, that is neat.
It's really cool.
Look at this watch. Okay, and watch when he presses the button. Boom.
Even a mono pusher.
Say that mono pusher. Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
Man.
So you got a 1/10 second Foudroyant with a fucking Rattrapant.
Oh, it's beautiful, man. It looks like a premiere of its time, you know?
Okay. So this is, and it's got SF on the dial. It doesn't have Ferrari, but it's got SF. So it's not really in your face. It's just a really subtle, really just a beautiful piece.
Man.
This is when I think of like what a collab should be like. Okay, look, it's it's pretty thick.
That's not bad.
I think maybe it's like
13.
No, I think it's like 15, 16. So
you take the crystal away, I would say it's
yeah. Okay, Tim, look at that, but though, like, it's not too bad. But
that's cool though.
Yeah,
and that looks like an Aquanaut bracelet they're using. You could probably find they outsourced the manufacturer to get that bracelet.
Probably. But the lug to lug is nice. It just sits on the wrist, classical sort of styling. It's just a high horology. This is high horology piece. This is you can't mess. You can't mess with this piece. This is just a really, really beautiful watch. GP pulling out the big guns. So they had the original. Collab with Ferrari. These were the guys, man. Gerard Perregaux, back in the day, man. They came out with it, and this is what they had just a run of the mill chronograph, but then they had this one. This was the top line. The Foudroyant.
And what do you think? What do you think the movement would be? What they've used?
What do you mean? That's fully in-house.
Fully integrated,
in-house GP. Yeah, it's 100%. Totally in-house. Look at this thing, man. Look at it.
That's so cool.
I'll just shut up for a minute. Cool.
I love the blued hands and
for such a complicated watch, it looks so simple, right? Because it has so many complications.
And look at those quarters at the 2, the 4. I mean, why don't brands finish off dials like that today? And the red accents on the scale on the outside, I didn't even see that. Really subtle. You don't even notice it. Yeah.
Look at that, man, with the mono pusher split seconds. It's just so cool. It's such a cool watch.
It's sad.
Man.
It's sad that watches have to be so ostentatious and out there today. That a lot of these collaboration watches end up being, and they really don't have to be gaudy and stuff. They can be so simple. There we go.
Look at
Can
that.
I just
Look
say I
at
love
look
the
at
gold
that,
chrome?
man.
So cool. Yeah, I mean, we could just chat about chronos for an entire show and how they relate to cars. I mean, I think of Hoya, and they were like the original when it comes to partnerships with a race. I mean, Formula One of the late 60s and 70s was all Hoya everywhere, on every jacket, every car.
Yeah.
I mean, and the stuff they made back then. Jeez.
Thomas, what do you reckon, man?
I
Give
love
us
it. I
how
love
good
that
is
mono
it?
pusher. The mono pushers are gorgeous. I love mono pushers.
I love how subtle it is, man. This could just,
That's
I mean,
the thing.
for
It's
most,
like
it would just
subtle.
look like an everyday, but it looks, it's got so much more under the hood. It's too good, man.
It's just so not in your face, but like when you know about it and you're and you know what it is, and you're like, yeah, this is you know what it is. And that's something I love about watches. When you get into these weird little
avenues,
like rabbit holes, and you get into some funky watches, when you know what it is, and you just know what it is, and you don't care what if other people know or not, but you know what it is, and that's the thing
that's the dream of this. That's the dream of this hobby of ours, man.
100%. Yeah.
You collect what you love, and couldn't care what anyone else thinks or says. Meanwhile, you know it's flipped and special for XYZ reasons, and it might for the rest of your life. Maybe no one will ever look at it the same way, but it doesn't matter because it's such a gem.
I mean, no one even knows this watch exists.
I didn't.
That's what I'm saying. It's a GP Ferrari collab with a foot rayon, split seconds.
Probably an enamel dial, I'd imagine.
Something
chronograph. I would imagine.
In gold, like fuck.
With a mono pusher. So
that's what I'm saying. Like like
mono pusher, retropont, foot rayon.
The whole deal.
I think the guys at GT were exactly Ferrari collaboration. It's like we want to put everything that's connected to chronographs. Okay, let's put it in this watch.
Yeah. Again, it's so sad that today the collaboration watch has to be bright and like huge. The size is okay. Size can work depending on its genre, what it's suiting. But I mean, they have to be bright and in your face, like the Breitlings that we saw earlier. I mean, why do you need to have it with bright green and bright blue and red? And it doesn't have to be that hardcore.
Yeah.
But again, it's what sells articles. It's what gets attention. You want to make a spark. This wouldn't get any attention today. It probably would, because it's so subtle. Because it actually stands out from the crowd, which all of which are trying their utmost to outplay one another with colors and just madness. That's another reason why I think the Amvox was such a freaking brilliant.
And then bang, look at that, and then the split seconds goes.
You could watch this all day. This guy.
Yeah, so good.
Yeah, that's why I think the JLC Amvox collection was another one. It's just you would swear it wasn't a collaboration at all. It's just a different breed of watch altogether. It just so happened to collaborate with Aston Martin that has all the JLC touches on top of it, though.
Before you jumped on ID, we were looking at the Amvox series, and the question I had was, if you weren't an Aston Martin aficionado, a fan, would you buy that watch? Like, and you're talking about like how cool the watch is and stuff. Like, do you know what I mean? Do you have to have an Aston Martin car to buy the watch? How does it work?
And this is all personal preference for me. The watch does so much more than just being a car collaboration, and I think that's the crux of the argument at the end of the day. it seems like a lot of these are catering towards the owners of the cars, but then you get the rare examples like your GP, like an Amvox, which just leagues ahead and doesn't need to be paired with. I mean, even that Beauvais for the Rolls Royce, it's like, really, it's too much. But the Amvox has got so much cool stuff in the background. The idea of just being able to stop the time with a crystal on the those little things, the skeletonizing, the balancing, I've always been a fan of that early 2000s JLC. I mean, what else did they do? The compressor cases, those ridiculous compressor cases that they used to make. Not a car collaboration, but that sort of thing. Some brands just know how to make a collection that belongs to it, speaks so much about the brand, but at the same time can tie in with a manufacturer. I think the Amvox is, for me, it's the cherry on the cake. If I was to choose one of all the watches that we've seen, it's the one that comes to mind. I believe that I missed it this afternoon when I was coming back. But Amvox chronograph. They do so many. They do others without any pushes. Oh man, you could spend a whole week.
For us, JCB?
Sorry, buddy.
Have you got another for us?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. No, I don't. I just wanted to. I was going to come back to the. No. It's all good. No, it's all good.
Too cool. Yeah, we could chat about these collaborations for a long time. There's so much. It's ridiculous to think how deep it goes. There's so many watches out there, even now, undiscovered, people aren't looking at.
Absolutely.
It's the secret of this hobby of ours. It's the real gem. You make sure that all the attention is in one place, and then you look complete opposite and find this has been, I wouldn't say probably my most loved purchase to date with regards to like emotional attachment, but with regards to what it represents and what it is, it's really hard to really cap it off.
That is great.
Hard to put a price on it.
So jealous. I'm just so jealous of you guys.
I would recommend, Thomas, I'd recommend one because, believe it or not, you can still get them for $4,000. If you just need to shop around, look around, they come up. And I think it's because it's so out there and different compared to your usual Oyster cases and stuff. People don't gel with them. But man, you have
one thing we didn't look at, Thomas, was the Monaco series. I've just got the Monaco Golf up on the screen. And
they go a little bit wild there.
Yeah.
But again, this could be a talk all to itself because I mean, I watched that Morgan King Hodinkee. Some of the Talking Watches episodes really last a long time. And that Morgan King chat, he subtly throws in that he has some prototype Monacos, like the Dark Lord and the prototype dials with blue hands and stuff. And it was so cool, just so cool. But this golf was a little bit hardcore, must say. I wonder how much they got paid or how much they had to pay to get the golf logo on their dials.
Yeah.
I was almost close to getting it.
What is golf? Is golf for like a
oil
Petrol.
Oil company,
Yeah.
And golf colors on racing cars.
We don't have it here.
The dream, man. Martini, golf, Jägermeister, Marlboro Red.
Jägermeister.
Yeah, man. Some beautiful. Okay. I mean, the liveries of the best. And I know McLaren is trying their best to make their cars look similar. They've the orange, man. What are they thinking? The orange of that car now looks like it's been left in the sun too long. I don't know.
Yeah. They had a nice livery, I think, last year or the year before, the Golf one, the special one. They had this blue, which look actually much better than the normal livery.
Yeah. And funny enough, I jest about Bremont and the collaboration with Williams. Williams has one of the prettiest looking cars on the track this year and last year. That navy blue, just simple. It looks so cool. Sadly, the cars themselves, rest in peace, Frank.
Yeah. What the hell's happened to Williams, man?
Yeah, Williams has really lost it, sadly. Yeah. But yeah, this Monaco Hoya is a interesting beast.
What's a cool fucking Hoya, man? The Ottavia.
Ottavias are amazing. Panda dial Ottavias. I was so close to picking up one. That one there, the Jubilee bracelet, the right beads of rice.
This guy here, this guy here is one of the fucking coolest watches going around, man.
Superb. Yeah.
It's such a cool watch.
And you
so
can get them for,
Atavia
like-
was
Yeah.
back in the 60s.
The
when
watch.
I like the
yeah,
story.
this was the watch.
Yeah.
This was the watch.
And the story was Josie Fur was actually wearing this, and this was going to be the watch in Le Mans, but the Monaco basically pushed it out of the way. The Otavia was actually going to be that Le Mans watch that McQueen was going to wear, but somewhere along the line, the Monaco came out and became that piece. Yeah, Gulf Oil was the number one. I mean, Gulf colors. You'd see Gulf just like Hoya. You'd see Hoya, and then you'd see Gulf right underneath it on virtually every car of the time.
Yeah.
I love it.
Gulf's the oil company. Yeah. So it's interesting because back in the day, Hoya, the Otavia was the watch over, the El Primero, over even the Carrera. This was the sort of the racing watch. Everyone was sort of like, you got to wear an Otavia. This was the watch. Because people don't realize that now. Because like we weren't around back then, but from what I've read, this was the piece. The Otavia was the racing,
the standout. And the Carrera has just gotten so much coverage as a contrast that it's become the I mean, the name Carrera is a lot more famous if we had to look at historically.
The Mons.
The Monza.
The track in Italy, the Monza. That's the one I like.
Love them. You could genuinely have like a 5-watch collection of Otavia, Carrera, Monza, Monaco. Too good. I love that case, man.
Look at that, man.
Yeah,
That's
looks
beautiful.
really nice.
What a nice watch. Jesus.
And those new Carreras again. That really blew me away.
Oh,
that was the one that's the one that stood out to me this year. I know everyone was talking about the 60th anniversary, and I think the standard dial, the one on the
look at this watch, man.
Yeah, they captured the Otavia and they put it on this one. Like if you just switch from this one to this one.
That little subtle date at the 12.
Yeah, really cool.
If you watch that
really
reference point, Hodinky, do yourself a favor and watch it. The homework required. Because this watch, the original one, lasted for a year? Not even. And it was so quickly thrown away because no one wanted a date at the 12. But it allows for the subdial at the 6 to fit. You can put Swiss in the subdial at the bottom, which is exactly what the original Hoya Carreras would have had in them. It's got
Thomas Y2K. What do you guys think? Come on.
I really
get your
like
input,
this.
man.
Yeah.
How good is this?
Why not? It's definitely one of the pieces I would say that if you really wanted to get something from Tag Heuer that had some racing pedigree in the background, you should really explore the Carrera line itself. Yeah.
So much tech has gone into just simple things like how that tachymeter warps around. I wish there was a nice close-up we could get. So it warps, so it's a tachymeter on the outside, and then on the inside you got the minute track. It's genius, man. Genius use of getting those lines to work and sitting inside that crystal.
Yeah, it has like a 3D.
It's so good.
Really cool.
And then
really
the depth
cool.
to the subdials. I mean, I would absolutely buy one of these watches now. The step to the batons, simple stuff. And those pushers, by the way, if you know your Longines 13ZN chronograph history, they're called mushroom pushers because they look like them. They're genuine, and they were designed originally to be for waterproofing. It was one of the first waterproof pushers that Longines came up with in the 30s and the 40s. 13ZN caliber is amazing.
You guys keep talking. I'll be right back.
All good, man. Yeah, so good.
Where credit is really due, like what you've been saying, IDGuy, and and what JCB and Abdul and Thomas been saying. Carrera's a great line to start with, especially if people are getting into racing watches. I know that sometimes as fresh collectors, this is just on topic, as fresh collectors, people might want to just say, oh, I will jump straight to get like the Speedmaster or Daytona. But if there is any, steps that you should try before going into that. The Carrera line is especially for this. Now the Carrera also has the non-racing look, the one that's really I call it the dressy look.
Yeah, you get analogs. Yeah.
Yes. If you feel that that's a bit too boring and because you're spending money already to get it, I would just say try the Carrera, because especially for the Golf, I was very close to getting it. The Monaco Golf, the caliber 11, it was just like inches away from getting it, but I was like, you know what, I need to do more research before I buy it. And till today, it has been very hard to get the Hoya Golf, especially the caliber 11 one. Yeah,
and the caliber 12. I think they also make a caliber 12 model today with all the crowns on the same side. Yeah,
correct. And the pricing for the caliber 11 has actually shot up.
There's more interest in it today. It's funny how that works, eh?
The caliber 11 pricing has gone up by a notch, which is somewhat, in some circles, have already overtaken the caliber 12 pricing, and collectors have actually put in reverse and go and get the Hoya caliber 11 because they felt like they got the modern one, but when they started reading out that caliber 11 is a lot of heritage and all, it's like wait, I should go back and get that too. So that's what happened already.
Yeah, the cool thing about these Hoyas is that they're accessible in a sense I mean, you see Tag Heuer everywhere. You don't see Omega everywhere. And if we're looking at prices, for someone new to this hobby, hell, I would recommend one of these little Carrera. I can't imagine that they're cheap, but this new Carrera Chrono. Funny story. The first watch that I ever stopped and went, this is 2013 when I really started getting into this hobby. When I stopped and looked at a watch properly, it was the 80th anniversary Jack Heuer Carrera.
Right.
That's the first watch that I looked at and was like, God, this is cool. And this was before I even started really looking into anything. It's not by any means as exciting as these pieces, but it's funny how things go full circle. Now having an El Primero, same kind of design, panda dial, red second hand. Yeah, man, Tag, accessible pieces.
I really like the pre-Carreras, that they did. They're ones I really like.
Quite an amazing collection they brought out this year, huh?
What's this one here? Is this a
tourbillon? They did
that's a tourbillon?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
it was quite a talk of the show. Yeah, they dropped a tourbillon. I think they had to outsource. No. They got someone really good proficient at making tourbillons to do the job.
Ah, okay. Fuck.
I think she's a she who did it actually as well. She's a really renowned watchmaker for tourbillons in Switzerland, and she nailed it. Carrera tourbillon. I think it's just a part to celebrate the anniversary.
What about the Carrera? Oh,
that reverse panda dial. Gee, that's cool.
JCB and IDGuy.
Yo.
And yes, you guys have been you seem to be very interested in the chronograph. Now, just off a little bit, Hoya also back in the day in the 60s, I think they had something called the Hoya Camaro.
Yeah. They did. That's a cool piece, man. The Camaro, nice one.
Camaro's a goodie. That's the. I mean, talk about underrated. You've got the Monza, which is the underrated cousin of the Monaco, and then you have the Camaro, which is the underrated cousin of the Monza.
The Camaro is gorgeous.
It's awesome. Yeah, those case designs.
Look at that.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful piece.
I will admit that it's a bit dated for the people of today, especially the Gen Z collectors.
Yeah, it's vintage.
It's got a lot of
Fuck
heritage.
them.
Yeah.
when you get into this hobby properly and you've been in it for a few years, you look at this and you say, yes, that's the way it should be done.
What? This is the fucking, what a beautiful design. Cushion case, five compacts. Amazing, amazing watch.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Expensive
piece,
now as well, the Camaro.
It's actually, it's ridiculous. I mean, I was looking at vintage Hoya Carreras just for shits and giggles a while back, and they're pricey. They're still not stupid money, but they're pricey things for what you're getting. And now it's just because the name is so recognizable today, which is a downer.
Yeah.
Look at that. The other one that's sort of similar Y2K is the Hoya actually a Tag Hoya Monza.
The black and red for me any day.
Yeah, the black and red.
Look at this.
That's a beast.
That's the one.
Oh, I would say move aside Porsche design. This one takes the cake, man.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of bicompact styles, I think I'll admit. But this...
Really?
Yeah, man. I would always take a tri-compact given the choice, but this is so stellar. I know Thomas loves this piece too.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
That's the black one, but look in the steel. There you go. You got the tri-compacts. This one is a really interesting piece. So this was around when I was first getting into watches. This was around at that time, sort of 2010, 2011 sort of period. Cushion case, tri-compacts, chronograph. Just such a cool piece, man.
I love those cases.
And this was the one that no one was into. No one bought it. It didn't sell.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but now when I look back and I think about the pieces, this was a really, really cool piece.
Yeah.
And another great one that's always stuck out to me is the Hoya Skipper. You know, that single sub-dial, just basic. I know Hodinkee had one, and it was
Hodinkee did the reissue. Yeah, this is a cool watch.
I'm thinking of another one as well with the date. The one on the There's so many of them, but they're cool. The one with the date offset, nice and neat. Regatta timer. Yeah. This is the proper way of doing regatta timers, man. Just basic. Love the colors. It's just amazing what a design can do here.
Skipper.
There's so many cool pieces. I mean, we could chat about cars, watches, chronographs all day. But I think we've put our audience to sleep by now. They're sick and tired. I dig them.
Any other car collabs we can think of that we didn't cover? Just trying to think.
I don't think so. Rinsed it out.
CK2915. Why not? The failed racing chronograph.
CK2915.
Close enough.
What? 2195?
It's good enough. Yeah, that's the one. I mean, these are all this is the original Speedmaster that was always aimed at being the racing watch.
The racing watch, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The Daytona competitor, the one that was going to change the racing scene.
And the Daytona, of course. You haven't brought up the Daytona.
Haven't even. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Well, it's not really a collab. You know, they're not collabs, but they're in the racing. Well, this is what I was saying at the start of the show. It was like racing chronographs have always been the thing that's been associated with motorsport. Yeah, motorsport. It's a chronograph. That's what you need. That's what you need. That's what we think about when we think about fucking racing. So back in the day,
isn't it funny to think? Isn't it funny to think that this watch was aimed at being just a racing watch on Earth, but it ended up being a space watch just out of pure coincidence, and all the other names. I mean, I'm trying to think of all the brands that competed. It was Rolex with the Daytona. It was Hoya with the Carrera. I'm almost certain. Maybe even Zenith. I think even Zenith submitted something for the test.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, I think Zenith did. Yeah.
And this was the only one that actually passed. Of course, talking a bit later on, but the same caliber, 321. It's too cool. But they very soon. I mean, the funny thing about this with the whole racing scene is that tachymeter bezel was a flop. The stainless steel finish did not work at all, and they soon got rid of it because it was so useless when being used in the field. And then you eventually got the Ed White as you transitioned CK2998.
Oh, Mick turned down on the high.
Skipper.
Oh man.
significance. No, got
Non-buyer's remorse.
Non-biased, yeah.
Oh,
That's
Mick.
It doesn't
watch.
matter.
Oh,
To each
Look
his
at
own,
this
really.
watch. What's this watch here?
So
This
this,
is
yeah.
what the
So this
fuck
was
is
just
that?
this was a very just a special tropical dial CK. I think it was the difference is this is a 2915-1 first ever edition,
Okay.
which makes it pretty special because these are rare as hen's teeth. I'm sure most of you know. But the tropical dial and everything just added to it. These watches were beaten to crap when they were bought. They made very few of them in the first place, like only a couple hundred. And to get one that's legit and all genuine and not replacement or service parts is super, super hard today. That whole collection, I mean, I love the trilogy. People still don't talk about the trilogy collection, but they are some of the most underrated watches to this day. You can go to a Philips auction house and pick up a Seamaster, a 2913 Seamaster for like 15 grand, but people go nuts over a 5508 or a 6204 Submariner or whatever, and you can sell. They buy those for like 10 times the price. But these are the real hidden gems because there were such small batch numbers, and the watches that were made and built, they were trashed. I mean, they were used to the ends of their lives. So there are very few of them out there. And they're so beautiful, man. The original broad arrow is gorgeous.
That watch is I'm just looking at that watch and I'm like, if I just had that watch alone, I would be happy. That's
beautiful, man. It's beautiful.
Amazing.
Yeah.
One of my favorite releases from last year was a 321 Canopus Gold. Had an onyx dial. This is actually like talking about it. I think it's just underneath there. There's a Hodinkee link on the bottom, but so cool. No. Oh, you missed it. You clicked away from it. It's okay. I think it's there on the left. If you go left from that, 1, 2 there.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's not the one. But they're so cool. Really under the radar, subtle. Not the most legible watches in the world, we can all admit, but just historically cool. To say that you have the first, that's something that I've like picked up. To say that you have the first of something is really cool.
Yeah.
And it's something that a lot of people don't talk about very much. But yeah, talk about failed racing chronographs. There we go. That's the cherry on the cake.
We didn't talk about Daytonas, and
we didn't, eh?
Thomas hates Daytonas, so I think that's probably why. Like,
Thomas calls it roll-eye.
Tell us why, Thomas. I want to hear your point of view. What's the deal? It's because of the hype and the fashion aspect.
What's the beef? What's your beef, man?
They're too small. They're illegible, and I think they're overrated. And
when we're talking about Daytonas, we only talk about 4-digit Daytonas here. Let's be honest. Who wants to talk about the 5-digit and on?
I do. Any Daytona.
You want to talk about 5-digit Daytonas? Oh, come on.
Give me fucking 6 digit, man. Give me any Daytona.
Okay.
Where's me? Hang on. I'm just trying to
pulling out the book.
Yeah, I'm pulling out the book. All right, man. Okay. All right. This is everyone has this book. Most
Are we aware of the Blancpain trilogy? Trying to acquire them all, but good examples just to get. I'm not aware of those, mate. No.
I think he's either talking about the what does it start with an A? It starts with an A. The Aqua. Oh, what's it called? The Putin watch. What do they call those? The Aqualung, right? The Aqualung collection. That's one range. But he could also be talking about the Jean-Claude Beaver editions. Those super rare. I don't think he's talking about those. Those are really highly priced.
The Le Mans?
The Le Mans, yeah, that's it. The Le Mans series. Those are great. Really good.
Oh, man. The Le Mans chronograph is one of my favorite watches, man.
I love the standard Le Mans with the date. Simple, but so clean.
Man, that's the Vladimir.
The Putin watch. I love that piece.
I love the Putin. That's the Putin.
I love it. It's just so neat.
Putin out of it.
But your 6263.
Man, this is a fucking okay. I'm just going on record.
That's a beauty. Yeah.
This is the greatest watch of all time. Okay.
No.
Yeah, it is.
I have seen
it's the greatest watch, Thomas. It's the fucking greatest watch of all time. The 6.2, 6.3, big red, Daytona. Okay, you can't fuck with this watch, man.
No, you can't. You can't.
You cannot
No.
fuck with this watch, man. It is the greatest watch of all time. I'm just putting it
I've
out
seen
there.
one in
Okay?
the metal in London. It's good. It's really good.
sick.
It's tiny,
And-
but it's good. It's really
Yeah, I don't
tiny.
care. 37 mil.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. I don't care. I don't
Yeah.
fucking care. Look, it's just the design. Okay, IDGuy. Tell me about the design of the watch. Look at that. Fucking Bakelite bezel.
I don't like the script much. I don't like the oyster in the middle. I much prefer the two-liner, the clean. This being the ROC instead of the RCO, which is
a two-liner. It's a fucking three-liner. What are you doing? What are you talking about?
I prefer the two-line, given the choice. I wouldn't go for three.
Shit.
I would prefer Rolex Cosmograph and take the Daytona off the dial. I like Cosmograph.
What do you mean? That's the thing. The big red. This is the big
It's
red.
the big red, yeah.
It's the big red.
Yeah.
This is the thing.
This is the holy grail of JCB's
I mean-
timepieces.
I'd rather have a 6238 pre-Daytona.
Yeah, predate's okay. Yeah. they're
Personally,
cool
given the
too.
choice between this and the Paul Newman 3.9, I would take Mr. Beaver's choice any day of the week. I think that is just beautiful.
That's
They
the
are
beauty, yeah.
beautiful in the metal. They're stunning.
It's just.
It's
The
such a
gold
pity, though,
accents.
It's such a pity that they've become what they have become now, where they're just commodities and assets to trade. People don't wear and enjoy them
Yeah, it's
like they used
100
to.
Man, this watch when it came out. Do you know how much this watch came out when it came out? How much it was?
$30.
It was about like I don't know, $300.
I didn't tell you the story. Again, I didn't mention
$300.
that double red sea dweller that the guy got.
Yeah.
$300. 300 pounds he bought it for 30 years ago.
Wow.
300
Yeah,
pounds.
that's what I'm saying. Oh,
It's irritating, eh?
it's so.
That's
Some little-
inflation.
Wow.
So I'm like, is that a double red? Yeah. 300 pounds. What?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hey Thomas, I was talking to do you know who I was talking to the other day, Mr. GMT, because we were talking about
GMTs.
Kermits. We were talking about Kermits.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What's your is your Kermit a flat four?
It's the last generation, hey? Last year.
Yeah.
Yours is the last one. Okay. Because I was like, my mate Thomas has got a flat four. He's got a Kermit. He's got a Kermit. I'm like, I'm not sure what year it is. I don't know.
Yeah.
But apparently he was saying to me like the difference between a flat four
Right.
and a normal one. It's like £10,000. The difference, the fucking value.
Just stupid,
Almost
man.
another 1,000.
Crazy.
Almost. Yeah.
It's just stupid. It's like,
It's
why?
just crazy.
It's,
yeah.
I mean, I was chatting to James Dowling about this, and he was
Oh,
looking
yeah.
at me. He was looking at me saying, the what did he say? Like the commoditization of these small little things, like it's an underline double Swiss. It's like, buddy, it's a Submariner. It's a cool
Yeah.
Submariner. Just wear it. The idea that this has become the theme now, where every little thing has to be added on to give it more value as a buying thing, it's just ridiculous, man. It's so ridiculous.
But that's with
Okay.
Pocket Watch. Hey,
One.
but
Yeah.
Good to see you, Pocket Watch.
that's the thing though. Like, I mean, we're so fucked up as collectors, right? That all these little things, all these little details, you know,
They add to
people
the
pay-
interest of it for sure.
the people. That's the thing. Like, people pay for being different, being unique, being like, oh, I've got a first run, I've got a flat four, and you know, all that sort of stuff.
I mean, again,
It's just
spotting the double red sea dweller. I'm like, that is so
Yeah.
cool. It's so cool,
Yeah.
but it means nothing. It's just the second line of red just added another 100 meters of depth to the dial, but that's about it. Like, it doesn't do anything. It's just.
But back then, when that guy bought that watch, he wouldn't have. It was just like
that was of
probably-
the time. That was of its manufacture time that he bought it. Yeah, he had
just
a.
bought it. Like, oh,
Yeah,
I just need a watch.
1680. The thing was, the 1680 and the double red were brought out around the same time. So to differentiate, they'd simply just put a second line of red on the dial so it wouldn't be mistaken from the 1680 red of the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think he had them both and he sold the 1680.
He had them both.
Yeah, and he kept the double red, and it's just of its age. It's ridiculous. And today we look at it like Holy Grail Sea Dweller. Meanwhile, it's just another line of red text.
Okay, so what's a double red Sea Dweller worth these days?
30 grand, pretty easily. Depending on, there's 1,000 pounds.
Pounds?
Yeah.
Which is like 50 sort of US.
50 Australian,
about.
Yeah.
50 Australian, maybe, yeah.
But that fluctuates. I think what he had the bezel replaced on his at one stage, but everything else is mint. The case is just sharp as anything.
Yeah.
So it depends. Of course, all these little things, add to the value of it and all that stuff today.
Anyway, we've taken a tangent from cars and chronographs to Rolex. So
we have
again, I'll just advise.
Awesome.
Please check out Curtis Arndt's video that's been released on Watchbox. I'll put the link in the chat and
gonna watch that after this. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, please check it out. And,
Curtis is such a good guy. I can't praise him enough. Like, we had such a good time that day. Brings me rye whiskey, just the coolest dude. We sat down, had lunch, chatted about. I think he brought. What did he bring along? He didn't bring his GMT, but he brought his Sky Dweller, a couple of other pieces along, and yeah, we just chatted. His story with the watches. He's been a pilot for 30 years plus, and that GMT. That's the coolest part of the story. That Pepsi GMT has been everywhere. He's worn it non-stop for years. For about 20 years, he wore that watch only, and it's pretty cool to hear that testimonial on how good the watch is. His buddy bought a matching watch just like his, never serviced it to this day, and it's spot on still, running spot on.
Wow.
Unbelievably good. Curtis had his serviced,
Wow.
never on point as well as his friends, but like all these little things, these cool stories. I think he still has the original bezel. He replaced it. He got a service bezel for it, but he still has all the original bits. Yeah, it's cool. It should be a good video. I don't know what it's going to be like, but it should be good fun. He could talk your ears off for hours about every piece he has and why he has it, and so
I'm
I think
sure he'll talk Tim Mossow's hand off. So
really awesome.
Yeah, we're gonna wind up now, guys, and
Cool.
so thanks a lot for joining us, everyone, and it's been great having you all. Thanks again, IDGuy. It's been great to talk to you. I only wish you could join us more.
I know.
But
Saturdays
I know-
have now become upload days. It's irritating.
I know you're busy releasing your videos, and they're great videos at that. And everyone, please check out IDGuy if you haven't done already. I'm sure you
Thanks.
all know about him. And, check out his great videos. So thanks, Chili, and
Yeah. Actually.
Thank you, brother.
thanks, JJ.
Thank you,
Thanks to
gents.
everybody in the chat.
Everyone in the chats.
So take care, everyone, and we'll see you next time.
Cheers, everyone.
Cheers, bye bye.